Actually be live in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, understood.
All right. All right. Hey, welcome to a quick poker live stream, everybody. I've been trying to do an interview forever, so I Call Too Much is supposed to be on, and he's one of my good friends on the site. So whenever we're talking about hands, I'm always like, "You gonna come on the show, Ryan?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then every day I just play poker all day, and he just plays poker all day, and we never get it together. And from Chinaman, however you say his name, from Chum, do you know him, Zerd?
I played with him. He hasn't been on a lot, much at all. I feel like in a while.
Yeah, he plays higher now.
Oh, okay, that's great for him. Yeah.
Trust me, he's on. But anyway, I want to thank Zzerd for coming on because Zzerd decided to come on short notice too. So big thanks to Zzerd and say hello.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm a fan of your content. A fan of the way you play. I think it's entertaining, and happy to be on.
All right, thanks again for coming on. I'm just gonna tell all the viewers now. Chase may see himself on the screen and he thinks it's another dog. So if he starts acting a ruckus, whatever. Good thing I actually had 8 people in the live stream the other day, so that was a record.
The record, yeah.
So if both of you or all 3 of you who are watching get annoyed, well, just remember he's cute and whatever. I mean, it's like having a bad kid. Anyway, so we wanted to save it for the stream. We started talking off stream about the state of global and the hitting and running and the boredom and the multi-tablers, and we could pick up where we left off. So you sympathize with sometimes how I get very frustrated.
Completely. I mean, starting off with people who play really slow. So whatever. Sometimes you're look away for a second, and your hand is live, so happens. But every single hand to take your entire time bank and then to limp is outrageous. Um,
Yeah.
some people are multi-tabling. I get it. It's like, it's one of the pros of global. Like, try to be on top of it. Um, because it's a pain in the ass. If you're timing out. And then you run out of time banks too. So there's not much you can. It makes it hard to play. If you're on too many tables.
Yeah.
I myself, I just haven't been playing poker that long, and I also just can't play that many tables that well. Like four for me is like usually the max. Well, and more
Yeah.
than that, like just don't play it well.
Well, here's the thing. If if you are multi-tabling to if you're multi-tabling more than 4 tables where your screen actually starts to get like hard to watch and like you're kind of just being selfish.
I mean,
If you can't do it in time, if you can't do it in time and you know you're annoying people, you're just being selfish because you want to be more entertained by more tables and you don't care if you're, screwing up everybody else's time. And bro, I frankly had enough of it. I don't know if I'm saying this because, I've been playing a lot
you're not
lately.
wrong, but it's a selfish game. I will say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a selfish game, but that doesn't mean like you could still be all right, so people are trying to take each other's money, like tensions get high. But I make it a point like I don't say like messed up things in the chat to people. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like I'm not going there ever. All right? It's like
Totally.
yeah, the money doesn't matter more than like other people.
Yeah.
And every day someone says something way out of line to me and they would never say it in real life because you might get like punched in the face.
100%.
Keyboard warriors.
At a live ring game.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. You're not going to because you're face to face with them and then
Yeah.
and also the amount of hitting and running wouldn't happen because if you try to hit and run like that in real life, you'd have to get up in front of everyone on the table and feel like an idiot.
Totally. I haven't had as much issue with people hitting and running. Maybe because I'm the one hitting. But that less so. In terms of people just, I don't know, waiting to get a monster hand, hitting you for everything, and then leaving. I would say less so. And I know the first part of the global poker. I think for context, it'd be helpful to share just like my, I guess, poker journey. I actually haven't been playing that long. Like maybe I started playing like October or September, like late last year. Um, in between jobs, so just had more time, and quite frankly, I just thought it was a dumb game for the longest time. And I had a close friend who like opened my eyes to the game a little bit more, and made me appreciate like the theory of the game actually, just as much as like playing it. And I would actually still say like I like the theory of the game just as much as I like playing it. So I think that's what's kept me motivated to try to learn the game and try to do well. I played the 10 no limit, you know, mostly for practice, to learn to get better. Like I have to be incredibly good to actually make a meaningful amount of money. So like the money's irrelevant. But I play to learn and I play for pride. Um,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm on there. I guess I do have aspirations to like move up, but like I know that I'm never gonna be playing like 1,000 an hour. But yeah, I think one day I would like to play 50, 200, or 100, 200. Would be like a medium-ish term goal.
I'm just checking the stream real quick. It looks good. You can see both of us. Okay. Anyway, all right. So we'll make sure we can hear each other talk.
Everybody else's time.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. We're good with the stream. Anyway.
And
Yeah. Go ahead.
global, I mean, there's only so many websites you can use in California. Ignition is one. You can be on you can play on clubs like on GG, like through I forgot what they call it, through a club on the GG app, and then you can play on global. So I started on Ignition. I just didn't like Ignition. Like there's a couple of good things about it, but I don't know. It felt I don't know bot heavy, and I just don't like that everyone's anonymous. And honestly, when I moved to global, the difference felt like noticeable immediately. Like I just felt like people didn't play like humans on Ignition. It's like most people like you can tell they're like actual humans playing poker.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it because it's kind of all I have. Besides sort of app-based and club-based stuff. Um, and yeah, let me stop there for a sec.
Yeah.
Hear what I can play more about.
No. I mean, so you've only been playing like 2 years?
No, I said I started like last October. Like I've been playing like 6 months.
Oh, less than a year. Okay.
Yeah.
So you seem pretty good for someone. What's
I
it?
was saying I was in between jobs, so I just had a lot of extra time.
Yeah.
And I also mentioned that I like the theory of the game. Like that's honestly like what got me interested. Because I mentioned that I just didn't. I said it was a dumb game. Like I was like gambling, whatever. Takes a while. So I just I would play with my friends in college or whatever, and I just like thought it was kind of dumb and takes a while, and I just had no appreciation for the game. And I had a close friend who's like I was like very good live player, but maybe like in the 2-5 type of games, but was probably good enough to play higher stakes. In kind of the same field as me, that just like told me that he was a long-time poker player and was kind of connecting some things from poker into our job and work, and I think that just opened my eyes to the game a little bit more. And now I'm kind of hooked.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it hasn't been that long, but like I've played maybe in that amount of time, and 5x the volume that someone might over that same time period.
Yeah, you're on a lot.
Time into studying.
Oh, you actually study poker too?
I do, yeah. Like I said, I'm more interested in the theory of the game than playing the game.
And you think the crossover has a lot to do with poker and the stock market, or poker and finance in general?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how much you looked into my background. I was most recently working at a hedge fund, trading equities,
Mm-hmm.
and it's honestly very similar. Like,
Oh yeah.
a lot of the principles, how you have to think about risk and reward, just like loss aversion and how losses hurt more. Similar also in the sense that it's so hard to make it, like to win money in poker.
Yeah.
Uh, like just very similar in a lot of respects.
Yeah.
That I just never appreciated, quite frankly. I also, just didn't appreciate how much of a skill game it was. I was like, yeah, I thought it was honestly closer to blackjack than like a skill based game. But now I think the opposite.
I'm glad you've seen the light, and it was obviously for easier for you to realize how it really is because of your background. So for someone else, they also might change their mind and start to really love the game because they know it's a game of skill. Two, it'll take a little longer for someone who's in, say, I don't know, whatever other job, construction, etc., as opposed to someone that's in finance. I always do feel like stock market type of people, finance people will always like understand me better. But it doesn't mean that. I mean, anybody could start to understand, but it was just easier for you to understand because of your background.
Yeah, no, and look, no, I think it's a beautiful game.
It is.
It's still gambling to an extent.
Well, there's risk.
But
When you say
yeah, those were
when you say yeah, it's still gambling. You're just basically saying yeah, there's risk, but
yeah, there's stuff you can't control, and honestly, that's something I shouldn't say because it's like that's not true in other skill based things like investing in stocks or the stock market. Like, yeah, there's stuff you can't control. There's risk, and that's similar in poker.
yeah. Well, say if I'm by myself and I'm thinking about how to prove to some like naysayer, like with examples of why it's about skill. I mean, it sounds really good. I always have like the perfect answer in my head, and then when it goes to actually explaining it, it's always a little bit harder.
Yeah, let's workshop it.
Yeah, I mean, all right, compare it to baseball. I mean, I don't know. I mean, are you into any sports?
I love football.
All right, football. I could compare it with football too. I mean, come on, man. When the Patriots went 16 and 0, they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. But the year they went 16 and 0 in the regular season, obviously a lot of things went right for them to go 16 and 0. That doesn't mean your team can go 16 and 0. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Yeah,
combination of luck and skill. There's luck in football. It's like the way the cookie crumbles. It's like your team is never going to go 16-0. Tom Brady's team, because he's the best quarterback ever, basically, went 16-0 because they were great and a lot of things went right. Say another team with the same amount of good luck they had might go 12-4.
yeah, totally.
So there's a good way
Yeah,
to explain it.
yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's when you start playing it, it's a little bit hard to see past it. It's simply being a matter of how good your cards are, how good the board is for your cards, and it seems like you can look at it in a very reductive way, which is why I can understand why people say it's like this is still gambling, and that's still true. But where the skill comes in is making the most. When you have hands, losing the least when you don't have great hands, losing the least when the cards and the board aren't cooperating. Like that's all skill and really important for what determines like how profitable and successful you're going to be. Because everyone is going to experience the same kind of getting good cards, getting bad cards, like positive variance, not
Yes.
great variance. And I also think people underlook how much of or underappreciate how much of a people game it is. And, it's not just about cards; like you're playing against other humans. Um, and a lot of what determines whether you're going to be successful or not is who you're playing against. Like I don't know what the joke is, but like you can be the sixth best like poker player.
Yep.
You're sitting at the table with the other five, like you're probably going to lose money. And I think that's one uh, one thing people like severely underappreciate, just like team selection. And even when I hop into a table in global, I'm like, all right, who's on this table? And I just like won't play on certain tables. The other
Yes.
thing that people like significantly underestimate, which we talk about a lot, is just position. Like me a joke about like I'd rather have some junky hand in position than pocket aces out of position, and I think that cannot be overstated. Like it's
Yeah.
the the most important thing, and like people when it comes to winning,
Yeah.
playing with people well, having knowing sitting in the right games, and also sitting in places where you have position to other players that aren't as good. Like those, and all the latter elements that we just discussed are way more important than do I have good cards or am I getting good cards. Um,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have appreciated that for a long time, or it took me a while to like really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goes back to the issue we were talking about when we first started the stream. So maybe because I've been on the site longer, that I'm experiencing more frustration with the hitting and running and multi-tablers, etc. Because there are certain people on the site, like everybody knows each other at this point.
Yeah.
And that if they see me, they won't play with me unless they have position on me. Okay.
Dude, I wouldn't like when I first started. I don't think I would have played on with you, even if I had position on you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny joke. When I first joined, I thought I had a bunch of people marked as purple tags, which I just put for like bot, because I was like, I would just always get destroyed by like all these certain purple tag players. I came to find out that they weren't bots. I was just terrible. And then as I learned and I got better, I started like beating them or performing well against them. Um, but still, like related to the conversation of game selection and table selection, like I don't want to play against a bunch of like micro, micro grinders
Yeah.
who are good, like play really tight.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be fun and it's not gonna be profitable.
Yeah, dude. All right, so Scott Anderson Marco, get off my tables, bro. I don't think you're bad. I think you're good. But you're playing too many, bro, and you're slowing up the game. You know what? Scott Anderson's not that bad with slowing up the game. He's a little bit slow, but he actually does a decent job of going fast, even though he's probably got like 36 tables going, and he's playing a straight bet for value strategy. He's not doing any reads, and as you were saying before, maybe 3 tables is the max you could play effectively. It is better to wait for hands and try to get reads, and that only comes with less tables. So these guys who are multi-tabling, these grinders like that, like Scott, or
As you always say, but I think it's so fun.
nut pedaling, yeah, they're just pedaling the nuts. All right, so AJH plays like that, and you know what, Ryan, I call too much, is like one of my best friends on the site, and I don't even want to talk about him, but sometimes it's like, yo, bro, I sometimes want to text him or message him on Insta and be like, bro, you're taking too long, bro. It's annoying the shit out of me, but like, I don't know. I mean,
On his phone, right? And he plays like 5 tables on his phone, which is
he showed me.
a
He
terrible idea. Yeah.
he showed me what he does. He plays 8 tables on his phone, and when you're on your phone, you can't see them all. You have to go keep switching. So he's just going, dude.
That's insane. It's like psychotic, actually.
Yeah, and you're not going to be as profitable like that because you don't have reads.
You don't pay attention, yeah.
So what you need to do is have reads, and so I think even 4 tables. Honestly, I act like 4 tables is the max I can play and play good, but it's really 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think mine is right there as well, like 3 or 4. More, if I only have one hand that I'm paying attention to, really, between like 3 or 4 tables, then like yeah, it's fine. But when you're actually playing hands across like 2 different tables, and you have to really think and pay attention, and I just do not play well, and end up losing money.
Yeah.
Or not making as much sense, or losing too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have I guess not formal list of like busiest players, slowest players, and like I know who they are. I try not to play with them. If I'm playing with them, I type my own range. I'm like, all right, like the worst hand I've seen this guy 3-bet is like King 10 suited. Like I'm not calling with.
Well, if
And
yeah, I think you can break down players' aggression. All right, you could rank them by aggression or whatever. You could color code them by aggression. I mean, there are players who will limp their entire range, which I just give them a mouse. I give them orange tag and a mouse. All right, so they're just
I love what you always say. I do not tolerate limpers. I also do not tolerate limpers. Like
yeah. Good.
Or I'll just jam, like my entire table limps around me. I'm in the big blind, just jam.
Yeah.
It's been actually been working for me. Like I've been doing this for a super long, trying to be a lot more aggressive against them for a while. Like I would previously just ignore them, like race to my normal size. I'm like, if they were gonna want to play this hand, like, they were gonna want to play this hand, and like my hand's not so good that I should be like 20xing, and now I'm just like 20x, make it huge. Like,
Yeah.
if they don't like their hand enough to raise, then they are not going. You're not going to the flop.
But they are all right. So let's say you're gonna limp, right?
And
At
they
least
think
limp.
they're being sneaky. Yeah, they think they're being sneaky.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It's a terrible idea. Never do it. Like they're almost always like making less than they should. A lot of times like people will lift their premium hands, and it's like I would have like the entire amount that you made in this hand, I would have three bet you to that amount anyways. You could have four bet and taken it down, without any weight. Instead, you made half of that, and you ran the risk of getting outdrawn. So it's just not that there isn't a scenario where like playing a premium hand more passively can't be more profitable, but rarely.
It says my free meeting will end in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think there's a 40-minute cap.
Yeah.
I got to-
So after it's on, just send me a link to one, and we'll get another 20,
Yeah.
30 minutes out of this.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so, yeah, and the funniest thing is the people who limp and lead, like I call them like flatten leaders, like they flat their entire range or limp their entire range, and then they start leading on the flop,
Yeah.
and then so all right, it says I have 9 minutes left, so you could just try to get that ready while we're. I should have prepared for that, but anyway.
That's okay. I can go with that.
Do you have Discord?
I do. Yeah.
I think we could do this on Discord next time, but whatever. We'll plan it out better next time. Anyway, so they limp and they start leading pot, and then
Right.
yeah. So the downside of that is they aren't realizing is if I make two pair or something or a strong hand, they're gonna get too confused when they get raised. They're gonna be like, I slow played, but he doesn't know that I slow played. So isn't my hand better than he actually perceives it as? So I can't really fold one pair now, and that's how they get stacked.
Yeah, it's also too obvious, right? Like, what is so good that you're limp calling and then not blasting for pop? I'm like, I'm just gonna put you at top of range, and like, I'm not even gonna call my
Yeah.
my top pair weak kicker type hands when you're doing that.
Here's the thing about limping. I like to limp. I'm sure you've seen me do it. I do like to limp under the gun when I have aces or kings.
Because too many people will call. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because number one, if I raise under the gun, no one's ever three betting me, ever. Maybe sometimes, but that's only if they have aces or kings, right? Or queens. So if I limp, usually no one raises, and if I raise, everyone either just calls or never three bets. So it's like I don't know. I'm not playing aces and kings great under the gun right now. I mean, I mean, who can play that great under the gun? But it's been a problem, and I don't know. Everyone always just folds.
Right, where I get a premium under the gun, and like sure, I mean folding around it happens, like whatever, like nothing you can't control that. What's a lot worse is like six people call.
Yep.
I too have been getting more inclined towards lip re-raising, but I think it's so bad.
Yeah, I think you put it in the chat. I think I did it the other day. You said something. You said in the chat when I did it, you were like, never trust a.
Always says, yeah, I said, Mama always says never pay off a lip re-raise.
Yeah. So.
And I don't. Like, if someone lip re-raises, I just want to fold. Which makes me think maybe I should be doing it with, like...
9-10 suited.
Like some really junky hands to take down the blinds every once in a while. But in my experience, like 99% of the time, it's like aces.
Yeah.
Yeah, at worst, ace king. And I mean, they keep doing it because people pay them off. So I'm not going to participate. You lip re-raise, I'll fold.
Yeah. Here's another thing. Everyone's always closing the action. So there's not enough three betting going on at 10 no limit. And And because there's not enough three betting, everyone always is choosing to close the action. It's really, really hard to get stacks in on the flop because pre-flop there's never enough money in because everyone chooses to close the action. Everyone's an action closer. Everybody's a flop seer. So even the bad players, I think, are flop seers. And I feel like the better players are always three betting me. And when they're three betting me, and I ever four bet, or if I'm thinking four bet bluff, or he's three betting me light, they literally jam every time, and it's like an insta jam every time. And it's like either these guys are four bet bluffing air, or they just have no three bet folds.
Uh,
Except for the really good players, have three bet folds.
yeah, it's probably a mix. I'm trying to think like if you said that nobody three bets you, so when they do, they almost certainly have a monster.
Except for the
When you
yeah.
yeah
Well, a weaker player, if a weaker player three bets me, he has no three bet folds. But if a stronger player three bets me, somebody like Swelly Belly or something, he has three bet folds.
tons of them, yeah, tons of three bet folds.
But I can't ever find them. It's weird.
Like he'll jam on you.
No, he's folded to four bets, but I feel like I don't four bet him enough. So it's actually smarter to just fold to a three bet than to just call a three bet out of position.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Almost always I will four bet or fold.
And we've come to the point where poker has become such a I'm gonna close the action. I only three bet. I only have these hands in my three bet and four bet range, like premiums. That Ace Jack, Ace 10, and Ace Queen, King Jack, and King Queen have become terrible hands.
I honestly
You know what I mean? You know they're terrible hands.
no, I know exactly what you mean because I think this exact thing every time I get one of those types of hands, and I'm like, shouldn't I be three betting this? And I'm like, yeah, but like if I three bet it, like his calling range is actually probably stronger than this hand.
You can three bet it if you're in position and you have control of the hand if he flats,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't raise, get three bet, and call a three bet with it, especially out of position.
Yeah, never. Yeah.
That's why they say at higher stakes.
Sometimes,
Yeah, they say at higher stakes, there's a lot more four betting. Somebody told me. So then I thought, oh, it doesn't mean that means that just means it doesn't mean the four betting will never happen at 10NL. It just means it only really happens between the better players.
I definitely do see it more so with regs, but I would also just think it's never going to happen just because the player pool, the three bet range is so strong. Considering at least 25% of the player pool is limp calling everything, so the three bet range is so strong, and then the four bet range, in my experience, 95% plus of the time, is aces or kings.
Yep. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, I feel like we're on the same wavelength here. We're basically
Whereas like I might want to put in a three bet semi bluff in the blinds with like fives, and then if you four bet, and which means like you should be four betting me fairly wide, you know, with any suited Broadway or high ace king, ace queen, ace jack type of holdings, which I would fold to. But that doesn't happen that much in 10 mil limit. And I think people, part of it is we're only playing 100 big blinds deep.
hmm
So
yeah.
four bets are tricky. Like third of your stack is already in there.
Yeah. So then there's the min four bet.
And I think they don't appreciate. Like it honestly took me a while to figure out like why I should be three betting a lot. And I think people like don't appreciate like why you three bet both in and out of position. Um, you know, one you mentioned it, you get more money into the pot. Two, you get better hands to fold a lot of the time. Three, it uncaps your range. Um, and I guess I should have touched on this when I was talking about point two, but when you're going to the flop with like six people, you're sharing, your equity or how much of the pot you're entitled to with like six other people. When it's just you and another person, you you put more money into the pot and you're entitled to more of it. Is like how I like to think about it. So you like make yourself money in a way by three betting because
Yes. Okay. Are you? This is gonna be done in a minute. Are you? Do you have a link to send me?
Yep,
Okay. So we'll cheat the system for a little,
that's okay.
and yeah. So are you gonna send it to my email?
I'm gonna send you an email because as soon as I open it, it's gonna kick me out of this. So I'm gonna hop off and then email it to you.
Are you gonna send it to my my email that I my lemons email?
Yeah, your lemons email.
Okay.
I'll send it right now.
All right. Cool. So yeah, we still got. All right. All right. So Zzerd will be back. Just give me a sec. Bear with me for a sec. Anyway, so yeah, so Zerd's a good guy. He really, it's impressive how much he knows about poker if he's only been playing for 6 months. And we are gonna go over some hands. All right. Zoom meeting is ended. Let me check my email real quick. There we go. All right. Can you hear me? AZ, can you hear me?
Hold on. Reconnecting audio.
I can hear you.
Sorry, give me 10 seconds.
All good.
All their offset.
I mean, I can hear you.
Come on.
I mean, it happens.
I'm back.
Anyway,
Sorry.
all good. I'm ready when you are.
Sorry. I need like 10 seconds.
All good, Hood. Technical difficulties here on Quick Poker.
Yeah, I don't have
I think we're good. What? You can't hear me, or?
yeah, it's not coming through. Pause. Give me like 5 more seconds. I think I got it.
Okay.
Alright, let's keep going.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so in the second part, let's go over some hands, and you could give me your thoughts on the hands, and I'll give you like pop quiz for the ones that I screwed up, or the ones I played good. I'll give you like pop quiz, see if you would have played it like that, and tell me what you would have done. And the ones I screwed up, I mean, but we won't tell you which ones I screwed up and which ones I didn't beforehand.
Yeah.
All right. So
Do you remember the players?
yes, I always
Because that's actually what I was looking most forward to about this stream is like I have like the notes. The way that I take notes on players is different. Like you will put like hand histories in their notes. I will put more a couple of shorter comments. I got back from like fish terrible, Zip calls everything. Just like a couple of like handy like heuristics I can use playing against them.
you can request sharing. Yeah. I want to do screen share. So so I could share my screen right now.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so let me know if you could see my. Okay, hold on. Yes, for. Shit. 1 second. All right, that should work. Will not be able to record the screen until it is quit. All right, I'm gonna quit and reopen real quick.
Sure.
Hopefully, you won't have to send me another link. Motherfucker. All right. Share. How's that?
Yeah.
Working?
Yep.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not gonna tell you whether I blew this hand or whether I played it good, but this hand was from today.
Okay. Queen jack off.
All right, I got the queen jack off. All right, so we see. All right, so it's a short-handed open, so we can't necessarily give him credit for a big hand. It is short-handed.
Yeah. Any two cards. Obviously.
So
Handed.
I decided to go to 135. Just give me some of your thoughts on why I would choose that much, and not really any player history. Player's name is Royal with flush. Royale with flush.
Yeah, Royale with flush. Sure. So this is I have them as a red tag. For me, red tags are either people who are really aggressive, but not necessarily bad, or really aggressive and bad. So this is a more aggressive player type. He's gonna want to get in there. Like, might think you're bullying him if you three bet him. So especially when you have hands, these are the people that are likely going to be calling them and actually combining you for pots. Standard out of position three bet is like 4x. It's a slightly larger. You're both like about 100 big blinds deep, but I think it's fine. Like more than that, you just require for more than that against most players, you just make it so that their calling range is going to have to be so much stronger when they do call your three bet, which is why like just kind of sticking to this. I tend to just like stick to the standard size, and I do it across like a lot of different hands, rather than getting too more than that, unless we're really deep. Like if we're both 200 big blinds deep, it could be a good bit more than this.
Okay.
So I think this is fine. It's a little bit more than 4x. It's like 5 cents more than 4x, or 50 cents more than 4x. I think that's fine. He, like you said, you're playing short, so he doesn't really have. Can't really give him credit for a good hand. So I think what's more likely is that he'll just hold whatever junk he opened up short-handed, which is why I would be inclined to three bet a lot lighter, especially four-handed with a decent hand and a big blind.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. I'm basically doing this so he could just fold.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, so I want to balance. I want to balance my big sizing by saying like, all right, if there's a good chance he's raising light. It's short-handed. He's opening light. So I'm gonna bet bigger because I'm out of position and I'm at a disadvantage. I'd rather just take down the pot, and then I'm gonna bet bigger just to win here. And if he calls that, I'm probably shutting down unless I really like the flop, because I think if he calls that, pretty much screwed because I'm doing this for a fold. But what I want to do is I want to do this sizing every time he has nothing. But then when I have a big hand like pre, like aces or kings, and I sense that he actually does have a big hand, I'm gonna go ultra big again to balance, my big sizing with obviously balance my value with my bluffs, but I'm gonna do the bigger sizing in times where I know he's really strong, and then he's gonna get really screwed because he's gonna have no choice but to call or four bet with a hand like queens, jacks, or tens when I have a big hand. So I'm not gonna do this again unless I know he has a big hand and I have a better hand, and I'm only doing it now just kind of steal the blinds. Does that make sense?
Yeah, completely. As long as you're consistent, I don't think 1.2 or 1.35 really changes anything.
Yeah.
As long as you're consistent, somewhat balanced, and I agree in like the approach. Like you're doing it with some junk right now. Later on, you'll do it with a real hand. Goal is to just take down the pot, pre-flop, break free, and you still have equity. You do get called,
Okay. Yeah.
and he'll be more likely to call you next time.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do it next time unless. All right, I flop. My thought process here is I flop the jack, feel pretty comfortable. But in his just calling range, ace jack is still in there. If he has one club, he is gonna call in position any bet to try to realize, but he's not gonna raise. He's just gonna call. However, if he does have a good hand like ace five of clubs, if he has the flush made already, he can hit me with the smooth call when I bet. If so, I'm not really gonna go three streets. So my thought process was it'd be best to start with a check with the three club board.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you you have no clubs in your hand. You very well could have at least one. You may still be holding the best hand here, but at this point, out of position, you kind of have to go into a bit of check call mode. You could maybe lead on the flop or lead on the turn, and look to get one street of value, assuming another club doesn't come out. But besides that, like this is kind of a disaster. Kind of a disaster.
Yeah,
Having three bet out of position on that board with that hand.
exactly. And queen jack's a shitty hand. Not gonna lie. I mean, I'm doing it basically as a bluff pre. So if he's just gonna call even with no club, he's only gonna just call ace jack and king jack, and I'm losing to those anyway. If he has queens, kings, or aces slow played with the club, I'm fucked. I mean, what am I getting value from here? This is a disaster, so check. All right, so we agree. All right, next card. All right, so I check. He goes for the check. All right, so now queen jack. Wow, now I'm beating a lot of hands. If he had the flopped flush, would he check right away, or would he at least think about betting? He probably would think about betting. So I'm pretty comfortable here, but not that comfortable because hands
I
like
would check right away, to be honest.
yeah,
Back to our earlier discussion around the big, like people play almost too sneaky or try to play too sneaky at 10 no limit when in fact like they should be trying to protect their hand, put money into the pot, and I think a lot of what happens is they end up getting outdrawn when they try to be too sneaky. And also if I flop the flush, like
if I flop the flush in a three bet pot with this much in, I'm putting money in if
I wouldn't
against
put money
check.
in, yeah. I wouldn't put nothing.
Yeah,
Especially if I'm not holding an ace club, I'd be putting money in.
yes, definitely. And he's either gonna make a mistake and call that bet when I put money in, or if he folds, he's gonna be like, he's gonna think, is this fucking guy fucking betting every time I check? He's either gonna lose money or be pissed off that he might have got bluffed.
Yeah, he's gonna be furious that you're merging your range now into these like club type of
Yeah.
holding hands versus just like aces, kings, ace king, whatever.
All right. So what do you think? At this point, are you checking? Are you betting? What are you doing? If you're me.
I think you have to throw some money out there. Like if he has a flush, like you're gonna find out about it on the turn for sure. If not, like this is probably your only opportunity to get some value from some jack X hand, some queen X hand, maybe some type of straight draw with a club that you're fairly comfortably ahead of. And I mean, you can't go too big.
All right, so let's see where we diverge in strategy. How much you betting here?
Um,
Just first thing that comes to your head, because
yeah, yeah, 60%, like 50 to 60%, like around half.
okay, yeah. So somewhere between half and three quarters.
Yeah,
Okay, let's see what I did. I think I bet pot. I bet just under pot. So I bet about 90%. Let's say.
yeah, it's aggressive. Like that type of bet, you're really just trying to get pulled out. Anything that isn't like drawing to a flush, uh, or a strong top pair.
I mean, all right. I'm betting that much because he's in a situation where he's a lot of times never raising, but probably never folding if he has the ace of clubs. So you might as well go bigger because he's never raising, but he's like if all three options are on the table, he's like I'm definitely not folding. Um, if he bets, I'm just gonna call, but I preferred him to bet small. So if he's in that situation, I'll just bet bigger because you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think
I don't know if it's optimal. I mean, we're not gonna check it on a solver.
so. I have checked with the solver, and I know the solver would definitely not go that. Like almost 100%, the solver would not go that.
Wait, you just checked? You just checked this hand in a solver?
Not right now, but I like a very similar type of situation where you are unblocking clubs, right? So you have no clubs, and by betting the larger size, you are putting a ton of money into a pot where you may already be drawing dead.
Yeah, but that's
Um,
okay. But that's because the solver thinks that because the solver's not thinking, oh, but he checked really quick on the flop. So unless he's pre-planning his flop flush checks to trick me, he probably doesn't have a flush. And if he doesn't, and I have two pair right now, I'm beating a lot of hands.
yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think
All right, so I want to see
yeah,
what watch what he does here.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Watch what he does here now. Hurry up. Hurry up. All right, he basically is jamming.
Yeah, or
Okay, what do you do against that?
I mean, a disaster hand just gets worse. Um, you know, you put in a good amount of money. He's saying, I have a set, I have a set at worst, a straight, decently likely,
Yeah.
not, and maybe I already had the flush. So
Yes.
it's like, uh, do I think he's just being aggressive to be aggressive?
No.
Probably not. Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
So I just let this go here. Like this whole thing was a disaster. Like I three bet something that I wasn't expecting to get called. Board was terrible. I had a shitty, a decent hand that looked strong because when you turn two pair, but you're also behind so much of what is going to be willing to jam a turn right here.
Okay.
And maybe he doesn't even have the flush, but when he's raising here, he's saying, I have at least a set, which we don't think, maybe he has jacks because he makes them not super likely. But he could have king 10, he could have 10 8. I don't think he would call a three bet with.
Yeah, I don't think King 10 though either. I think 10-8 probably not calling a big three bet. King 10 probably not calling big three bet. But King Queen and Ace Queen and what would, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. But unless you have ace queen clubs, which he very well could because you unblock that.
Yeah.
Because you're not holding a club.
Okay.
That would be one of the hands that would feel comfortable raising here, or at least holding a club.
So you're thinking folds is your first instinct?
Yeah, like even if you think he's just getting out of line, like is this the spot I want to put in my entire stack? For a hand I didn't even really want to be playing.
Okay.
What do you do?
Do you want to reveal the answers Now or do all the hands and reveal the answers?
Let's see what you do.
All right. So I kind of had a lot of thoughts like you had right there, and I really couldn't find too many hands I was actually beating at this point once he raised. So I did kind of want to fold, but then I thought to myself, if we were deeper and we were both say 200 big blinds deep, I think I'm finding the fold. But now I could still think he could have ace queen with the ace of clubs and not know what else to do. So he just raised because I bet so big. He could have a hand like king queen with the king of clubs and not know what to do. And he could still just have
Do that.
what?
If you play king queen with a king of
No,
clubs.
not necessarily. I'm just trying to justify the play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he could have ace queen with the ace of clubs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's very well as possible.
So I do remember thinking in game, oh fuck, I might be beat here. But then because I think my sizing kind of induced a little bit of a spewiness. Um,
Yeah.
and he could still have ace king.
Like if you bet a huge size against me and I actually have a hand, I'm gonna be like, fuck you, Brez. Like I'm putting more money into this class. So I think you know yourself and the players that play against you better. Like this might not be an uncommon type of way that people play against you.
Yeah, and also what people don't realize that is they're always afraid of scaring someone away if they bet big when they have big hands. When you bet big, a lot of times people will put even more money in because they think, well, I'm not folding anyway, so I'll just put more in.
Yeah.
So betting big is a very good strategy that people don't realize, and it's very underutilized.
Well, one thing I'll also say is I do appreciate that about your game, and one thing that people don't realize is like at these stakes you do like when you have a hand you just have to bet big because I don't know how much in theory you are, but like the solver assumes that villain is actually going to raise pretty thinly for value, which allows you to like range bet smaller sizing because even with some strong top pair holdings, villain should be raising at some frequency. But that'll never happen in 10 no limit, which is why like the burden is on you to put more money into the pot because
They're not going to do it for you.
your opponents are not going to do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So all that in mind, plus crazy player type, plus a lot of money in pre. I did kind of think I was beat. It was very close. But based on how much more I had to lose, based on what I had to put in, combine that with the player type, combine that with the tension, combine that with, I don't know, maybe I'll make a boat. I think I decided to actually jam, which is basically like the same as calling because he's not folding for another 15 cents, obviously. So I decided to just stick it in, and we got to see his hand, and we'll just reveal it now.
Yeah, let's see. Wait. That's crazy.
He had pocket aces with the ace of clubs.
And he did more, but that's incredible.
Yeah, so I could totally see being beat there, but he had actually one of the hands we can beat, and he was going for the long con of my huge. I guess he sensed my huge 3-bet was a bluff, and then he just ran into 2 pair, and he got fucked.
Yeah, that's moron play.
No, it's. I don't hate his play. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it because the chance that you have jacks and queens is low. The chance that you 3-bet with queen jack out of the blind is low. So, but also you very well could. Because he has an ace of clubs.
It's a weird hand, man. It's a weird hand.
Yeah, it's a little weird hand. This type of player though is very.
Yeah, he knows I perceive him as crazy.
Yeah, live by the sword, die by the sword. So I think he just thinks, hey, I have the best hand here, and I'm blocking the nut flush. Like, let's stick me all in here.
Yeah. So let's say he does have ace 5 of clubs or ace 10 of clubs, right? And he's nutted. He doesn't raise there.
He doesn't raise. No way. Yeah, there's no way.
So that went through my mind, and I couldn't find enough king 10 in his range unless it was suited. Yeah, and I honestly thought he had something like ace queen with the ace of clubs. So I think against certain players, this is a fold, but against him, it's still close even against him. So Worked
Yeah,
out, but
I guess you got more comfortable because he wouldn't be raising a flush on the turn that aggressively. Like he's basically putting you all in
yeah,
on the turn,
but
which is probably not happening um, with a flush. And I guess my comment was that raise is saying he has at least a set, but actually he's just overvaluing his top pair.
yeah, he also I think a little bit of spew, a little bit I don't know what to do, but I don't mind your answer. Is this is a fold because in game I was thinking, wow, this is so close. I'm gonna go all in here, but I won't be surprised if I am beat. So not an easy hand at all.
Yeah, great call.
Thanks, but I think I was playing a little bit bad when I did it. You know what I mean? It was a little bit of a frustration jam.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say like that was my first thought when I heard that you jammed. I'm like, were you angry?
Yeah,
Were you tilted?
yeah. I think I didn't play that good that hand. I think I don't know.
Neither did he though.
Yeah, we were both. That's just a weird hand. I don't know. I couldn't find enough King 10 in his range. Anyway, I think against a different player, you're gonna be beat every time by like a blue player type. All right, let's go to another hand. All right,
Yeah,
so
that was a weird one.
yeah. Well, what's this hand? What the fuck is this hand? Um, I'm gonna have to see the
You know
flop
what?
to.
You know what I missed?
Oh, this hand. This is the same guy now. Now he's pissed. This is like two hands after that hand. So this is Royal again. Uh, yeah, Royal was flush.
Okay, you're playing short again.
You didn't see what he had, right? Because it said it in the. All right.
I did. No, no, I did. Okay, you're gonna be on +1.
I'm making it 50 because we have a limpy mousey,
Oh yeah.
a mouse
Over
here.
the limp. Yeah, over the limp.
All right, so he three bets. He three bets my limp, my open, but it was an open against a mouse. It was a raise, a limper raise. It wasn't a regular raise.
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
makes me underestimate his three bet to 1.7. It makes me less believable that it's a big hand.
I actually, my first thought was that it actually must. I actually wanted to give him more credit that it's a good hand because you've already opened 5 out. If we treat a limp like we ignore it, you've effectively opened 5x. So now when he's three betting you, still a little over 3x, he's saying I don't care. My hand is better. Was actually my interpretation. So it's interesting that you interpreted the opposite, like like I open big and he just sizing is big because I open big. But when you open big,
Yeah.
people have to tighten their range, right? Because there's only so many hands and certain hands that you like enough to call for 5 big blinds. And I think I made the comment last time that you're tightening you tighten people's calling range. The more you open and the more that you three bet. So this to me actually I perceive it as a very strong range, but
Even after he just lost that pocket aces hand.
no, not after.
Yeah.
Just to add a populate, yeah. This player, like, I would think he's probably just looking for any opportunity to three bet me. But just as like as a population level comment, like across like 10 million players, like when I do that, I raise huge over a limp, and then someone still three bets me huge. I'm like, I will fold most of my hands because I'm like, they're
I agree.
they're not worried at all. They're not worried at all that I comfortably raise this limp.
Yeah, with no table dynamic, you're obviously just gonna fold. But with what just happened and this player type and how he just
Yeah,
lost the last hand,
yeah, yeah. In that context, I think he's literally looking for any hand to three bet you in position.
okay.
Yeah.
So what are you doing here now? Then
It's annoying because he's not like you're way deeper than him. Um, I think I mean I think you have to call like you're ahead of most of his three betting range that isn't like aces, kings, queens, jacks. Um, I don't think maybe he's doing this in tens. But in the context of the last hand, I think
Yeah.
He only has 8 left after we get in there.
Okay, so yeah. So you're gonna go for the out of position
Honestly,
set
yeah,
mine?
I was gonna say, and because I was gonna say, in this situation, if you think he's being stewy, I might even put in 4. Like, hey, I'm not fucking around. Like, I actually have a hand. Like, mid click in 4. Uh, and if you think he's just really tilted and gonna jam, that terrible idea. But if you think he's just getting a little bit out of line after that last hand, like I said, I would think he's just looking for any decent hand to three bet you in position. Well, if you actually have a hand, uh, that's ahead of a lot of hands that would three bet.
Oh,
So
so you would
I would consider the min four bet. Like, hey, I'm
you would min four bet?
to like 4. It's basically a min.
Yeah, but if you min four bet, you're just giving him. I mean, you're gonna see the flop then with nines. So this is more of a hand that.
If he's spewing, no, you're right. Like if he calls the four bet, you're in bad shape.
Yeah,
But if he's spewing, which like you think there's a decent chance of, would he not fold his four bet? Like you're saying, like
he's not gonna fold to a min four bet. Any hand,
you could. Oh yeah, then bad idea. I take it back.
right?
But
Yeah.
but yeah, but again, bouncing against players like that you just got their number, and they're three betting too wide. I will often put in like a min four bet, like hey, I'm not fucking around.
That's interesting because I feel like I could see min four betting aces or kings.
That's exactly why I would do it because, like I said earlier, like 95% of the time when people four bet at 10 no limit, it's aces or kings. But I will go as low as nines, for especially if I'm getting three bet often, if I think the three betting a little bit light, and also it just uncaps my range. Like if they don't have aces or kings and they call it, you're gonna worry, especially then when we get to the flop and I start betting.
Wow. Okay.
Right, because now you're calling and you have a cap range because you just called this three bet.
Yeah. So all right. So I just don't love min four betting. Not so. All right. So what's your final answer? Well, what do you want to do here?
We're going to the flop reluctantly.
Are you just gonna just flat and check to him?
Yeah, reluctantly.
All right. So I decided I didn't want to do that.
And you jam.
No, I basically. All right. So here's what I did. I made a 5.9, which is essentially jamming. So
Yeah.
I'm stacking off here, and watch what he does. He just calls.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, with 4.1 behind.
If you're ever playing, maybe a more advanced concept of stack and pot ratio, like pot is 5.9 and you have 4.1 behind. The issue with that, just like keep it simple, is imagine that you have 4.1 behind and you jam, with like not the nuts. You're giving the other player incredible odds.
Yeah.
See it like even if you just have ace king here, ace queen, king queen, like you will win. Assuming he's not already nutted, doesn't have aces or kings. You have the pot odds to put the rest of the money in. So don't do this. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, if he's gonna put another six in, just put it all in so you realize your equity 100% of the time.
Yeah, put it all in, and you know, in the chance that you're just spewing, maybe you fold, like if it was me getting out of line with like nines or tens, or four betting this, and then he sticks it all in, I'm like, all right, like my hand kind of sucks, and I'd rather just save my last couple bucks, but don't ever do this.
Oh no, I'm saying if he re-raises me the last four after I make it 5.9, I'm not folding anything at that point.
Yeah.
But all right, so he winds up. All right, so 6-4-8. So based on everything you just said, even if I jam here, if he has a hand like Ace King or something, he's probably just gonna stick the last four in to try to suck out because his mistake is calling pre-flop. But on the flop, I think it's actually mathematically correct for him to just call because he only has four left. You know what I mean?
Mathematically correct for him to what? You just call here.
to just call with whatever he has, as long as he doesn't have pocket twos or threes or something. Even if he has that, in case I have ace king. Basically, he should have went all in pre-flop instead of if he's not gonna if he's you know what I mean if he's gonna call my 5.9. So at this point, it's probably mathematically correct for him to just call his last four no matter what. You know what I mean?
No, I think we were trying to say is it's mathematically correct for him to just jam.
Yes.
Over your 5.9. Like not for him to call and go to the flop with four behind.
Yeah.
But rather to just stick the rest of his money in.
Yes.
That is what he should have done. Yeah.
So at this point, if he just sticks his money in no matter what on the flop, his last four, it's basically like the same thing as him just jamming.
Yeah, and he should have done it pre.
Yeah. So he winds up, watch what he winds up doing. All right, so what are you betting here now? There's 12 in the pot. He's got 4.
Sticking the rest in, like.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait till you see what happens. And so what do you think he has at this point?
I think he has some unsuited broadways.
Yeah.
Like king, like I wouldn't be surprised if he has like king queen suited.
Yep.
Ace queen suited. If he's being really spewy, jack ten suited, pocket jack, pocket tens, being optimistic.
All right. All right, we'll just reveal. So I go all in
So yeah, so I think you stick the rest in, and he reluctantly calls.
with ace jack.
Let's
So that's pretty bad.
so bad.
He can't beat ace queen or ace king in case I am kind of bluffing.
Yeah.
I never show up with a worse hand than this. He's basically just trying to suck out at this point.
Yeah, which the mistake he made is he does.
Yeah. So yeah. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah, I think he played it as well as he could. Like he's clearly getting out of line.
Yeah.
You punish him for it, and he sucks out with a jack. Don't. I actually don't hate his 3-bet in position here with ace jack.
Yeah.
It's actually not terrible, and one of the hands is probably like under 3-bet. Ace jack off like in position. It's like actually a decently strong hand. It's ahead of a lot of hands that people are opening and plays well in position.
Yeah. It's just a hand where, I mean, I've played worse than that at times. So whatever. I'm gonna stop the screen share for a sec.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
Oh, unlimited minutes now?
I thought I had Pro. I just reactivated it. It's unlimited.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, because I thought we were gonna have to end it.
No, I reactivated it.
All right, so if you want, I mean, if you have any hands saved that you could pop quiz me now, because I do have one more I want to show you if in case you don't.
No, go ahead. Let me see if I can.
But yeah, it'd be cool to pop quiz me about what. So find a hand you played bad, and then a hand you played good, and then and then I don't tell me the outcome so I could try to guess.
Well, yeah, worst case we might have to say that for next time because I have
Yeah.
a good job of saving them.
Absolutely.
I'll see if I can pull one up from yesterday where I just totally misplayed a set. Both against the I think I found it.
Nice.
Both against the opponent and what the solver would do.
I'm not big on solver shit.
Like I said, I am a GTO wizard, or I aspire to be. I think people don't play like computers, so like it's not something that anyone should live or die by. But it helps you like think about certain situations, and also like helps set some bounds for what you should be doing with like your range or even your particular hand.
All right.
I like it.
I want to just
reveal. So I go all in.
So, yeah.
Okay, Mike K just said in the chat, the guest mic is a little quiet.
Oh really?
I don't know. I'm listening now to you talking. Hold on. I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
What do you think?
I can hear you fine when I listen on my phone to the stream. So I think it is a little quieter than mine, but I mean, whatever. We could resolve. Yeah. Any technical issues, we'll do a better job next time. But I don't even have a microphone. Oh, I can't hear you at all now. Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying today's episode of Quick Poker. Just be patient with us, please, as we wait for Zzerd to fix his microphone for your viewing pleasure. So, yeah. Anyway, we have one viewer in the chat. Please like and subscribe. Help us reach our 500 subscriber goal. And if you want to... What the hell is this? Two days ago? I don't know why, but I changed the title of this live, and now all the titles are changed to Interviewing Global Crusher Zzerd. What's up, Zzerd? Are you back yet? Oh, I don't even see him anymore. He's frozen. He might have to restart Zoom. Yeah, he is. Okay. I can't even go there because watch out, buddy. Hey, stop! Stop it. Hey, can you hear me? Come here. Stop that! We good? Can you hear me? Stop it, Chase. Sounds good to me. Come again? You're frozen again.
I can see you. Give me one sec.
Come here, boy. Stop it or you're gonna get an ass kicking.
Let me switch out my AirPods.
Go for it. It's not another dog, bro. It's you. I gotta just hold the camera up so Chase doesn't see himself. Fucking dog. Come here, boy. Come here and go to sleep. Be a good boy. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Chai, see? See what's going on in the global streets.
Yeah, just one sec. I'm dialing in.
All good, brother. So, what other hands we got here? Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright, let's do it.
Yeah, but your mic sounds a little weird to me now. But I don't really.
Oh, really?
It sounds a little lower, but I don't really give a shit, honestly.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I can switch it back.
Wait, what did you just switch it to?
My phone.
Yeah, it sounds a little shitty. Not gonna lie.
Okay, I'll switch it right back.
Yeah, switch it.
Fair enough. One second.
We should have never fucked with it. All right.
It'll just be a second.
Oh, now it sounds great.
Yeah. But now I'm not hearing you. Well, I can hear you through my computer. But give me one sec.
Yeah.
Alright, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Alright, sorry about that, everyone.
Sorry, both of you.
Yeah. It's giving the viewers what they want. Did you have one more?
Yeah.
Let's do one more and then I'll pull up mine.
Yeah. So this one's fucking amazing. This hand is just so great. But I kind of have to show you all the hands against this player that led up to this.
You can just tell me the history.
Yeah, I actually saved all the hands against him that led up to this hand.
Oh, wonderful.
So we got this hand. Oh no, you don't see my screen right now, right? Okay.
I don't.
All right, let me just
There
get.
again.
I'm just gonna get them ready. We don't really. Do we need this one? Hold on. What the fuck? Oh no, I don't need this one. Okay. Oh, that one sucked. Oh, this is fucking crazy stuff.
Yeah, I got two bad ones for you, I think. I don't know if I have a good one handy. The good ones I forget about, you know what they say.
Wait.
Losses hurt more.
Oh, so you actually, wait, you saved the
I'm saying I the ones that I have handy, just looking at something I sent someone, I have two bad ones.
yeah.
That I'd be happy to show.
Okay. I never saved the bad ones where I screw up. I only saved the good ones.
Oh, yeah, I definitely only like. I'm thinking there have been some good, a bunch of good ones, but I never saved them. So I'm like, yeah, I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So I do it completely different. All right, I'll share my screen for a sec. All right. All right, you can see my screen, obviously. Why is this? Okay. All right, so we didn't have it. All right, I'll just breeze through these, and then we'll do the pop quiz stuff on the last one.
Yeah.
All right, so last night I'm playing. Got a pair of jacks. I'll just go through speed. I make it $1.35. He overcalls. He goes half pot. I just raise all in. I don't expect him to be smart enough to do that with a set. He just calls it off with pocket fours, and we win. So a smart player might bet a set right into me, knowing I might have an overpair and I'm going to push. But a less smart player is not going to be that smart, and he probably has exactly what it looks like. So that's why I jammed. Did that check out?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, first, never do this. Don't.
Yeah.
Cold call, 3 bets out of the big blind. 1, because you're out of position. 2, which is really bad, as we talked about already.
Yeah.
2, capture range.
Yeah.
I mean, I pretty much know what hands he has when he's calling out a big line. Like, he probably has some like middling pocket pairs, like
Yeah.
you know, sixes plus. So like yeah, this board is a little bit scary. He's leading out. You know, if he has it, he can stack. Like
Yes. And if you're him and you do have a set, consider betting the way he just bet instead of checking.
yeah, it's actually not terrible advice because honestly, my inclination might be to check, especially out of position. Like I have a set. You know,
Yeah.
it's a pretty connected board. It's great though. You're not worried about the flush, but like in the case that who was it? Did the initial razor fold? So it was just the big line that called the three bet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because dude, I mean, I put him on exactly what he had, and if you do have a set and you think someone else has an overpair, a lot of times you're going to check so you can check raise. But I like just betting right into the guy I know has an overpair because I don't want him to be able to pot control because I'm out of position. So if you were him, don't play what he had like that. And if you do have a set, play with a set like he just played what he had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not bad advice. I honestly would be inclined towards trying to slow play it. And
Yeah.
actually, the hand that we will go after that I have is me when I tried to slow play it and got outdrawn and stacked.
I love bombing into the preflop razor with strong hands. I love it so much. It's so much fun. Checking is overrated. Anyway, we don't want to spend too much time on these hands. I just want to show you all the hands that led up to the last hand.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, by all means.
And I will say, like, I think maybe I'm nittier against those types of things when, like, someone cold calls a 3-bet and then starts donking into me huge. Like I'm putting them on a set. Like, yeah, if I have an overpair, like, I'm just going to get stacked. It kind of is what it is. But I'm the donks are the big size donks look very strong. I will say, and will not get calls from that many most of the time. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
What? But it sounds like you disagree. You're like, I'm out of position. I have a monster. I'm putting money in.
It's not that I disagree. It's just player dependent. You know,
That's fair.
because
Can't disagree with that.
yeah, nittier players aren't necessarily always going to see bet their overpairs, but they're not going to fold to a bet. And if it's a player's bad, either way works.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Like, the person with, if you have an overpair here, you're not going to fold. Like, you're going to be cautious, a little worried, but you're not going to be able to fold. You're just not.
Yeah, so against a good player, consider just bombing into him if you know he's an overpair and you have a set. And against a bad player, either way, check and check raise him or bomb into him. It doesn't matter if the player's bad. If the player's good, it matters a little more. Make sense?
Okay.
Okay.
So next hand.
All right, so
line.
next hand, he's doing a little min raise. I'm not flatting. I 3-bet. So this is a lot like that other hand. Hey, get off my mouse, bro! Oh my god! Oh, dude. Anyway, sorry. This wild animal is making things difficult. All right, so it's a lot like this hand where I didn't want to just start betting into him because he could have a flush. So so here I don't want to just start betting into him in case he flopped a flush because I'm out of position.
Yeah, and you're unblocking. I mean, also all the good flushes are on the board. Like what he could have is an ace heart.
Yeah.
You unblock Jack heart, which he could have, I guess.
But the problem is he's so loose and he's playing so silly that he's going to have ace of hearts, 4 of clubs very often. So not betting a lot is a kind of a mistake. So I decided to play it a little different. Yeah.
You're almost certainly ahead here.
But yeah.
Some fold equity if you start bombing it.
So I just go 1.6.
Yeah.
He just calls. I check for pot control. He checks. I check again so he could bluff, and he doesn't. And he had ace of clubs, 8 of heart, 8 of diamonds.
Yeah.
So what is he doing?
Don't raise under the gun with ace 8 offsuit. Give up if that's what the maybe they're slow playing a monster and like they're waiting for their opportunity to race you on the river, which actually is what a lot of like fishy 10 low limit players will do.
Yeah.
They'll wait until the river to check raise. But when you get checked back to the river, like I just force myself, like I have to go for bid value. Like it's just an automatic thing that I force myself to do, and especially in this situation, you have to put out a bet on the river. It's just like mandatory. Like yeah, maybe he slow played his flush or a monster, in which case he's gonna let you know. But you have to go for some value on the river there.
Okay, I checked so he could bluff Ace of Hearts, 5 of Clubs, and then he just didn't do anything. He just checked, but
yeah, but then you check, but then you just check the river, realize your equity.
yeah, just so I could. Oh fuck! What was this guy's name? Did I save his name? Well, he was cursing. Well, no, I saved the entire thing. So
Yeah, but you don't remember who it was.
no, it was a guy who was
That's okay.
who was telling me to like. He was really saying bad stuff to me in the chat. He was very pissed.
Jeez.
Yes. What's his name? I don't. Whatever. I don't think I'll ever
Yeah,
see.
it's not that serious.
But all right. So and then after that hand, this hand happened.
But just still on the river there.
Yeah. On this hand, yeah.
You have to go. I think you have to go for something.
Yeah, to get called by a hand like Jack 10, Jack Queen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought he just had bluffs when he checked back the turn, so I thought the only way to get more money in the pot was to check so he could bluff the lone Ace of Hearts.
Yeah.
But I don't know. All right, hold on. So then this hand, I have 7s. He does a little min 3-bet, and I don't really want to 4-bet it. I go for the set mine. I don't know why I'm calling.
It's so small.
And then he bets 3.6 at the end, and I fold. And then he starts saying in the chat that, like, oh, yeah, you like that? Like, stuff like, because he won that little hand there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this hand.
And I would say don't even play your bluffs that way. If you're 3-betting light and that's the board. Because you just give villain so much, such good pot odds to continue and potentially outdraw you.
So in that hand, I won. This other guy won the main pot, and he was just bluffing with Queen Jack. All right, and then this hand is when he started getting like really nasty in the chat and saying like how he destroyed me and yeah.
You open, get min 3-bet.
So then yeah, because I get min 3-bet, I decide to 4-bet the Ace Jack, and then we don't like that flop.
Yeah, nothing to do with Jack.
All right, so then he jams here after. So I thought about calling because he could have Jack 10 of clubs, 9 10 of clubs. He could have some sort of weird clubs, but the problem is he could have Ace 3 of clubs and he could have 6 7 of clubs. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, so I thought about heroing here for a long time.
I guess do you believe that he's putting in all the money with absolutely nothing?
Yeah,
Okay, that's fair.
but not well enough to call. But I did think about it really long. You know, because 9 10 of clubs.
If you had an Ace 5 of clubs, Ace 4 of clubs.
That's the problem. He could be bluffing with the best hand.
Yeah, exactly.
So I fold, and then he says like I was his bitch or something. And that all led to these last 2 hands. All right, so all the tension's building because of that. Now he's up to 40. I go for the open with Ace 7, and he 3-bets me again. And at that point, I was like, enough. You're not min 3-betting me to gain control every time. So I decided to 4-bet the Ace 7.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, the min 3-bet is very weak. Never do that. Like 3-bet to a real size. This just makes me think you have either you don't know how to play poker,
Yeah.
or you actually have a junky hand.
Yes. So I'm very comfortable 4-betting Ace 7, which is very risky, obviously.
Very spewy, I will say.
Or, I mean, yeah, but against him, I feel like it's the best hand,
Very well could be.
But I also did it because See how this guy only has 3?
Yeah, he has to stick it in and fold.
Yeah, and then I'll get to see this guy's hand no matter what.
Yeah.
So I did it because, all right, so if we go to the flop and he makes me fold, I'll at least get to see what he does this with, what he's mid 3-betting with, because this guy probably will call it off. And either way, I'll get to see his hand because this guy's in. So that's why I made it that.
Yeah. All right.
So I make it 3.2,
He calls, of course. Right?
and he calls.
All right. And the overcaller.
The overcaller winds up.
Folds, right?
I feel like screaming, "Hurry up!" like I'm playing in real life. Hurry up, bro!
I feel the same thing. I'm like, where the fuck up?
All right, on 8-8-3, if he has any king, queen, jack, king 10, any of those type of hands, I have the best hand still. So that was my thought process. So that's why I did this.
Yep.
All right, we got the dog out of here finally. He could stop making our lives difficult. Anyway, okay. So I did this, and what do you think he winds up doing? This is funny.
He's sticking it in, right? He's putting you all in.
Yeah.
All right. Because he goes too big to let you have
Well,
this one, so sticks it in.
Stack to pot ratio, I have to call at this point if he sticks it in.
Yeah, 100%. King, queen, king. Let's go. And turn a pair and river 2 pair.
I had him the whole way.
You had him the whole way. So incredible read.
But on the flop, he doesn't have the stack to pot ratio to get me to fold, and he still tries to get me to fold.
Yeah, don't do that. Like if you bet like half your size and then he jams, there's real hold equity there, right? Like now I have to put in my entire stack and I still have a lot left behind. But when you're already putting, I forgot how much was left, more than half your stack, and you're saying I'm willing to stack off. So his jam is
4-bet the ace 7.
Yeah, it doesn't scare you from sinking the rest of your stack in. So don't do that.
Yeah. So if he had pocket kings, and I saw his cards, and I saw he had pocket kings, I still would have stuck the rest of my money in, because at that point, pot odds, obviously.
Yeah, you have the odds to continue.
So then now this player is a whole nother level of like loose cannon. He's like loose cannon.
It's the same hand.
He's just completely insane. He's trying to bluff, like
There's nothing to bluff here because you've already said I'm willing to put my entire stack in. So don't try to bluff someone who is telling you they will not fold no matter what.
yeah. So absolute craziness, and now we'll do the pop quiz for the last hand. So that's what led to the final.
Okay.
So at that point, I thought I saved it in my bookmarks, but
This last one?
he was saying stuff to me in the chat like he was not happy. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
And now here comes the last hand. Now tell me what I got 8-10. He goes for the limp. And then when the big blind limps, I think about raising. And I'm like, you know what? In case I flop something, I'm just going to actually limp. So it's a limp pot.
Yeah.
Flop comes Jack 9-3 multi-way. What do you think you want to do here?
So,
Don't try to like guess like what I did.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're open-ended. You limp what is now a really good hand. This guy's gonna call any bet because he doesn't think, he doesn't want you to get the best of him. I would overbet the pot. Like what is it right now? Like I can't quite see.
40 cents.
Yeah, sticking at least $1. Sticking $2. You guys are so deep.
Wow, I like that. Wow, you think overbet.
I mean, he's not. Knowing what we know, he doesn't want you to get the best of him. You are open-ended, although probably behind, and you're pretty sure at least he's gonna call your bet, and it's a limp pot, so there's no money in there. So yeah, I would just start blasting. Like there's no bet here that makes sense less than $1, right? Like the one
All right, I love it. I love your. All right, cool. I actually decided to go full pot.
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever. Like, in your head, you're just like, this is the maximum I can bet right now, but like, there's nothing in the pot.
Yeah, I don't want to go over bet like you suggested because I want to call if he raises.
That's fair.
So obviously he calls. Big surprise.
Yeah. So that was my thought. That's why I was like, you should just put in $1. He's gonna call.
Yeah. All right, and then I think button. What does button do? Hurry up! What are you doing there, bro? What are you doing? Oh, okay. All right, ace. I immediately thought he never has an ace in a million years. So what are you thinking on that card? There's 1.2 in the pot.
Yeah, if you think he actually never has an ace, barrel again.
But we know barreling means nothing to him because he's just gonna call anyway.
Yeah, I mean, which is why I wish you would have gone overbet on the flop, but here, overbet again. Like, I feel like you're gonna pot it again.
Yeah.
But I would put in, assuming I did what I did on the flop, I would put in $2 here.
$2? Okay.
Overbet. Yeah, I would overbet, but I feel like you're gonna pot it.
I potted again. Okay. Same ideas. Same ideas.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, whatever.
All right, and
Calls, I bet.
he calls. The nuts.
You complete your open ender, have the stone cold nuts.
Yeah, it's beautiful because there's no flush possible. The board, it's just so nutted. So, what do you think? What's the best move here to maximize value? Is it?
Yeah, here you have to block because he's crazy, and he's gonna, after you potted it twice and then go for a small bet, he's gonna think you're full of crap, and might actually induce him to go all in, as we've seen in the last couple hands. So what's the pot? It's
3.6.
yeah, 3.6. I mean, like, I think technically a block is like something between 20 to 40%, but I might even put it like half pot, and I think that probably induces an all in, or a huge raise.
You think half pot? You think half pot block would induce a raise?
I think anything less than like $2 will probably induce the raise. I mean, anything less than $3 actually looks like a pretty weak bet. Like, considering you potted it the flop in the turn, and I said like a block technically is I think something between like 15 and 40%, but like half pot for like these stakes is like effectively the same thing on the river after you potted it twice. You could go even smaller, like I don't know, what's $1.50, like $1.20. Like I feel like you probably put something in that range.
Okay.
What do you do?
I like your ideas. Yeah. All right. So on the flop and turn and river, our thoughts are similar but not exactly the same. Here, what I want to do is, I do think he's not the type of player to not raise a block bet. I mean, certain players, if you block bet, they'll still just call. He's not that type. He is the type to get victimized by a block bet by being goaded into a raise. Definitely true. I think the worst bet you can make here is pot or 3/4 pot or overbet because then he just calls.
Yeah.
So I think block, but if you're not completely sure that a block will work to induce, if you are afraid maybe he will just call a block, I think check. Because he's down enough that if you check...
Yeah, and look weak. It's effectively the same thing.
Yeah.
As throwing out a block.
Yeah, I feel like check is a little different than block. I think block is better a lot of the times because if he had a hand that he's going to check back, he'll just call block and at least you win a little bit more money instead of nothing.
Yeah.
And if it still accomplishes him raising, then a block is better. But I don't know. My block bet game on the river is not that attuned, so...
Yeah, against crazies, like...
Yeah.
It's a pretty good idea against this guy. I think the check does the same thing, because if he has anything, he's
Like-
going to put money into the pot.
And Queen 10 and King 10 still can't call a bet, so they have to bluff if I check. They also might bluff raise if you block. So same idea.
Yeah.
But I actually went for the check. It's very risky because he's gonna check back at Jack sometimes. But I think if I checked and he did bet, I thought I could bet it all.
He might, I don't think he would check back at Jack. 'Cause that's probably he probably knows it's not the best hand.
Or he thinks if he wouldn't check back at Jack because it must be the best hand. Because if I didn't bet the ace.
Unless it's a shitty hand, yeah. Unless it's a shitty Jack, Jack 3.
But this guy, who knows? He's down. He's down now and steaming, and he wants to win his money back. So he's thinking a little differently.
So he full pots it.
So I check, and he bets 3.6, and I was like, yes, the check worked. I was so happy it worked. And then what sizing are you using against 3.6?
Yeah. Unfortunately, like you guys are both so much deeper than the size of the pot, which one of the reasons why you don't win. At this point, like if you stick it all in, I feel like he definitely doesn't call. So I feel like you could probably raise it to like 10, and with any showdown type value, and you might just think you're spewing. More than that, I doubt he'd call.
Okay.
And less than that, it's like not even a real raise. So I'd like 3x it, or almost 3x it, whatever.
Yeah.
Somewhere between like 10, 12. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's probably what you did.
All right, that makes sense. My thought process was, if he has nothing, he's not going to call up 10 or 12 anyway, right? If he has Queen 10 or King 10.
Yeah. If he has nothing, he's not calling any raise.
Okay, and if he has something that's really good, like 2 pair, he's not folding to any amount. And even if he has like a medium strength hand,
Yeah. So my 10 to 12 is targeting his medium strength hands. If you're going all in, that's targeting like I guess the better part of his range, like 2 pair plus type of hand.
yeah, but I think if I was bluffing and he had something like a weak jack, even like an ace king, I think he would never in a million years let me bluff him with what he was saying in the chat and what's happening. So I figured,
That's fair.
since a bluff for all in would never work,
Yeah.
I might as well go all in for value because he would never fold if I was bluffing. So that was my logic. And if he has nothing anyway, he's folding anyway. So yeah, I did think what you thought, like 12, 13 is a good size, but I got greedy and I was like, I think he's tilted enough that he'll call a jam. So I went all in.
Didn't call the jam, does he? No. No way.
And he
Oh
called.
my goodness.
Yeah.
He's that tilted.
Yeah. So maybe he did have 2 pair.
He must have had like a.
Yeah, so he did. He called a jam.
Jack 9, Ace 3. Like I don't know.
Yes.
What he had, but
Yeah, ace 9.
yeah, Ace 9 very well.
Yeah. Set. I mean, I'm beating everything. That's 7. That was such a great 7 because it was just a great, like, it was just a great poker hand. Man. It was like, these are the hands, this is why you play for shit like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, $57 pot, but
Yeah. So yeah, you won a huge pie. You had his whole career.
yeah.
We might never see him on football again.
Oh, what was that guy's name? Oh, man. Let me see my bookmarks for a sec. Look how many hands I have saved. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. If it was my list, like I said, it would be all my mistakes. It would be like my worst hands.
Where? What was this guy's name? Bookmarks. I can't. Nah, I don't know. I don't know where it is, but you can show me your hand now. So I'm gonna stop my share. But that was a great hand, right?
Yeah, I think few areas of improvement, but against this player, like what can I say? Like you got him for the absolute max. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is definitely I can't wait to get pop quiz now. All right, we got 2 people in the chat. All right, hey everyone. I hope one of them's not you.
No, one's not me.
I hope one of them's not me. I think one of them is me.
That's okay. We'll have it for posterity.
But what we should do in the future, because I watch a lot of YouTube. What's that?
Sorry, you finish your thought.
Yeah. I want to do like a weekly global poker roundtable type of thing where we get like 4 or 5 or 6 people in here. something like that would be cool. Or we could just.
But I also think you should even consider putting out some like short content that I think what you do a decent job of is blending like entertainment and information. Like I actually watched a good amount of people like playing poker, whether it's online or live or whatever.
Yeah.
They usually do one of either well, and you know most of the people tend to lean more towards like information, which is fine. It's just not that does the job, but like it's also like kind of boring to watch.
Yeah.
So I think if you can do something in between that that's both entertaining and like informational and like not most of the players that play online are very like solver like GTO oriented, and you are definitely not.
Yeah.
So I think it's like more relatable than all the solver pros out there.
Yeah, I want it to be funny, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most people aren't.
All right, let's do
This
this.
is my hand that I totally outplay or totally play terribly.
Okay.
So let's see. This player, someone limps. Speed it up. So under the gun limps, which I ignore. Gun +2 raises to the normal size, ignoring the limp. I'm in the big blind. This is the marginal hand, so I'm just gonna call. If the under the gun one comes along, whatever. No reason not to call this. If people are raising too light, like maybe you could 3-bet bluff something like this, but like usually I would do this from the blinds with like fives, maybe fives, and six I would actually consider like a normal 3-bet against a lot of people, a lot of tables. So I just call. I think that's fine. I check out of position. What would you have done? Actually, let's.
Yeah. All right. So.
So let's say how you would have played it. So under the gun limps, under the gun one raises to the normal size, folds back around to me, or folds around to me. What are you doing?
All right. So, do you remember what player type or who the player was that limped?
I want to like both of these are like very like fishy players. Like they're seeing a lot of flops.
Okay.
I don't even necessarily interpret the regular open as being a strong hand. It could be
Yeah.
It's not a premium hand, or at least I'm not giving.
No.
For that.
No.
It's just anything that's not like jack 3 off, right? It is really my only takeaway from this normal raise over the limp instead of limping.
So, can you see my mouse?
Let me allow you to. I think I can also let you. Let's see.
It doesn't matter, I don't think, but I'm just saying, like, first player who limped, is he like the mousy type of like fishy player, or is he like
Sorry. What's mouse again? They just like limp
a mouse is just an extremely passive like fishy player, as opposed to like someone that just limps all the time, never raises.
No, I think both these players are honestly that type of player. Like just because they raise, like it doesn't mean that they're like not that type of player. Like I think it's just a slightly better hand.
Yeah. Okay, so he has like a decent hand, and it doesn't seem like he even considers raising more because of the mouse limp. So.
Yeah, that's why I said it. And it's a standard open over a limp. Like it's not even like 4 or 5x, which is what you would want to do if you actually had a real hand, and really punish the person limping, and also like uncap your range in case people just call. So kind of a weak raise. You're in the big blind, pocket threes. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I think obviously folding's out of the question. You can 3-bet if you think he has enough open folds in position. He probably doesn't. And you're not really that deep enough to, really, really care about your set mine that much.
Yeah.
So I think you can just call here. I think just calling is fine.
Yeah, and I mean pocket threes, like it's kind of a junky hand. Like all things considered, if you don't
Yeah.
nothing to do with it.
And you're gonna get set oversetted more often than not.
Yeah.
All right. So, but based on the pre-flyer, when I see that king, when I see the king on the flop, I think,
Excited.
I think, he's not gonna have ace king often enough, right?
That's
So,
why I said like any just raise to a normal amount. Like I'm not. I'm worried about. Really, the only thing I'm worried about here is a flush. Coming in.
yeah.
On the turn with the river. I'm out of position. I check it, but that's not what you would do. I think.
I don't know. It's tough because this is a really hard situation. Because if he has,
And then, like I said, the question you asked earlier is relevant. This is a passive player.
yeah,
He's not gonna blast his decent king X here. I mean he might bet it for like half pot, 3/4 pot if I'm being optimistic. But both of these players were on the passive side.
yeah. So this is a situation where if you check, he's probably gonna check, and if you bet, he's probably gonna say to himself, "All right, I'll call one and then I'll fold." So
Yeah,
it's
so
just
that's
yeah.
mistake number one that I make.
What checking?
Yeah, against a passive player.
Yeah, you could bet, but he's probably gonna be like, "I'll call one," but
Yeah.
he probably doesn't have a king.
Equity. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't think he necessarily has a king.
No.
And yeah, but that logic is right. Like he'll think maybe I'll call one.
Yeah.
But then also he might turn more equity on the turn.
So
And
yeah.
Instead, and I think he just checks this back.
Yeah. So I think you have to lead. You have to lead the turn. If you have to tell yourself, if I check and he does check the flop, I have to start leading the turn.
Yeah. So the mistake number one, you have bottom set, you're out of position. I would just put money into the pot. Like, yeah, the donk lead is gonna look really strong, but you have a vulnerable hand. All things considered, you have bottom set on a two hard board, so don't do this. So he checks it back as expected, and now the board's a bit more connected actually. Like 9-10, ideally 9-10 heart or 9-10 spade is like feeling pretty decent about their hand now. I do think like a suited connected type hand is very much in his range. That's not so confident that they're gonna 5x over a limp, but rather just raise to a normal size because it's a decent hand. Still not really worried about the king. Not super worried about a set on the flop. He would have bet that. Probably doesn't have. Maybe he has eights. Probably not. So now what do you do?
I think he's not. If he's not the type of player that's ever gonna raise, if you bet small or medium, the pot's not gonna get that big anyway. I think there's enough bluffs he could put you on like 9, 10, 5, 6. The problem is that you said the board is a little more coordinated now, but coordinated in a way that favors more of your range than his.
There's more range, yeah.
So this is just such a shitty situation because I feel like if you bet, he
No, he's not thinking about that. And actually, even though, like from a theoretical perspective, I have more, more hands drawing to the straight than he does. And when I'm playing this, I'm like, I think that it's actually more likely that he has some type of straight drawing cards, just by the size of his raise. Like I don't think he has, Broadway type holdings here.
Yep.
Because if he had, like as we discussed, if he had like ace king, why is he only 3xing over a limp? It's theoretically better for my range, but I also think it's as likely that he is also drawing to something, whether it's a flush or a straight.
Okay, so I think your bet sizing should be anywhere from 65 cents to overbet to $1.25.
Yeah. So it should be an overbet. I think the solver also would recommend it. Does recommend an overbet. I do what you did, which is a huge mistake. Let's see. Sorry, I think I bet. Do I bet pot? Almost the pot. 65 cents.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So 65 cents, and I think that's a terrible idea.
Really?
And even in the moment, I'm like, this. I mean, this should be an over bet. Like, if he's drawing to a straight or a flush, he's gonna call a much bigger bet than this, right? Like, like realistically, when I'm thinking about like his calling range here, um, you know, we don't think he has a king, but even a king probably calls an overbet here. But when I'm playing this, it's most likely that he has a drawing hand, like has like 9-10 drawing to a straight or like some heart combo, some spade combo, and going back to what I said earlier, like I had bottom set, I have a vulnerable hand, and I should be piling money into this pot one, either to build it or two to get it to fold. So the 65-cent bet, it is big in relation to the pot, but I should be overbetting either for value or to get him to fold, because if he has a junky hand, he's gonna fold even to almost pot size bet. If he has a drawing hand, he can call an overbet, and that is what the overbet is targeting, and potentially also causes him to fold out. Like I win a small pot if I overbet and he doesn't call, but I still win. So if I could do it over again, I would
Overbet.
I would even consider like the pot's so small. Like I would put in $1.50, like $1.25 a dollar at least. $1.25. Like I think is probably more optimal. But like a 2x overbet here is like not crazy, I think. So I put in 65 cents. Jack club comes.
He snap called in real time.
I think I'm playing it at 3x speed. Let's see how fast it actually was. I think it was fast.
I think it was still fast.
I'm pretty sure it was fast. Getting back to the same point. Okay.
All right.
Down. So I throw out the almost pot size bet, which is a mistake.
He basically snapped.
He snap calls, which I don't know that I don't know what are you reading into that? I think that usually indicates he has some sort of drawing hand.
Yeah.
Think about raising.
Yeah. The fact that he snapped makes me think he has a drawing hand, some sort of suited ace of spades type of hand. So if he has ace jack of spades and you check, he's going to check and just see if he wins. But if he has ace jack of spades and you bet again, he might level himself into thinking.
And I think at the time, like I was way more worried about the flush than like hands drawing to the straight. I'm like, is 9-10 really calling almost a pot size bet? Like, in hindsight, yes, absolutely, and also would be calling, probably would be calling an overbet. So now the jack club comes out, the most obvious straight gets there, 9-10. What do you do?
I think 9-10's more in your range. But he could have 9-10 and maybe 9-10 suited, he just raises to 30. It's possible. I think it's unlikely. I think if he's the limpy type, he's probably just going to limp behind when one person limps with 9-10. So I'm giving him a lot less 9-10. And I think if he has ace-jack of spades or jack-queen of spades, I think he's going to check back, but he's not going to fold to a bet. So I think overbet with the intention of folding to a raise is the right move.
Okay. How much do you bet?
245.
Let's see how much I bet.
Okay. Ooh.
I throw out a 2x overbet, which as I mentioned, I should have done on the turn. Or I guess a combination of value and just for equity denial, right? If he's drawing to a flush or a straight.
Yeah.
But look, like I mean, the pot's tiny. Like I'm not like what am I gonna bet 250? Like if he has a strong jack hand, like he's not gonna love this bet. But like, what's he putting me on?
I don't know. When the 9-10 favors more of your range, I don't think he's going to really want to hero $4 if he's like the passive type.
Yeah, I mean, this is me. I think in the moment I was just really tilted that the jack came out and the most obvious straight gets there.
Yeah.
Especially when I said at the very beginning, I'm like, this is the type, like, I don't think this is a premium hand. I think this is like you know, suited connected type hand, like not absolute trash. Maybe jack, jack 10 at worst, queen jacks, possibly. And I get greedy because I'm pissed that I only that I barely potted it on the turn.
Yeah.
But also I do put out a 2x, somewhere between a 125 to 2x overbet with both my value and my bluffs. So like he's definitely seen me do this like maybe 5 hands ago. And maybe it was bluff, maybe it was for value, but like this is not like an unusual sizing for me on the river. Like I will like rather than 6x overbet the pot and go all in, I will go for these type of overbet types of sizing. Like 2x would be like very common for me. So
It would have been sick if you did bet the flop, even like small, and then you could have bet more on the turn, and then you could be betting 4 right now, and it won't even be an overbet, or you could be overbetting to like 650 if you had bet the flop.
But and also just my view is like the overbet doesn't look as strong as it seems. Like 4 and a 2 seems a lot, but like what a lot of like fishy players will do is like if they actually have 9-10 here, they'll jam.
Yeah.
It's like that just like makes no sense. Like I don't have unless I too have the nuts, like I cannot call that bet. And it just in relation to the size of the pot, it makes no sense. So like a 2x overbet, like it seems strong, but I saw 9 behind. Like and this is a fairly small pot. Like it's not actually it's not necessarily a nutted hand. And I honestly would even do this with like a decent 2-pair hand, or a really strong top pair if I think like villain is capped and he thinks I'm spewing, because I would take these types of lines with bluffs as well.
And what are you targeting then?
I'm figuring out what he called my what he called my turn bet here with. I'm like, okay, like there's a decent chance he has like ace, like he has ace jack. Like I don't think he has a king, but he could have king jack possibly. He could think I'm just spewing with absolute air. Hero me with some like ace 7, ace 8. But as I mentioned, like I'm not targeting anything. Like I'm just tilted that I didn't put enough money into the pot on the turn. And I'm being consistent in that I will I will usually put out this type of bet on the river with both like value and bluffs.
Okay.
So it's more like this is what I usually do with both value and bluffs, or with like my best hands and my worst hands. So let him put me on one of my worst hands.
Okay. I'm having a hard time figuring out a hand they could have to. I think, yeah, I'm folding to a jam, and if he just calls, we're good, but he might just fold.
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, not fine, but not ideal. But like I said, this is terribly played. I'm tilted that
Yeah.
I have squandered bottom set.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, like this is my normal sizing. I'm just throwing it out there. Looking to get heroed by ace jack, king jack.
Yeah.
Ace 8.
Oh, that's another problem. That's another problem, right? Say if he does have 9-10 and he jams, you could talk yourself into calling because he might have king jack and be going for value.
Yeah, and funny that you say that because that's exactly what happens.
Oh God.
And realistically, I knew I should fold and I was beat, but I just remember being like especially tilted that day, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's so problematic because king jack is one of his king checkbacks because he's not going to love his kicker and he's not going to want to go for 3 streets.
Yeah, and I think that's what I was thinking in the moment. I'm like, okay, like maybe he did just check back.
Yeah.
Like jack, I guess that also would be a hand that you would just raise to a normal size, but I just had a feeling that it was some type of hand, like drawing hand like this. So the most obvious straight gets there. When the jack comes in, I should not be betting more than pot. Like it should be like $1.75 type of sizing, and then that also folds to a raise. I'm tilted. I'm mad that I squandered bottom set here, overbet to my usual size, and then get raised huge by the most obvious straight combo.
Yeah, and no, it's funny. If you would have bet the flop, he probably just folds, and you would have been like, "Damn!" But little did you know, it would be so much better than what happened.
Which is why I'm saying, like, if I 2x overbet the turn and he folds, like that's fine.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't want to call that with this card with this combo that's drawing to a flush or drawing to a straight, like that's fine. I win. But like that's not so big in relation to our stacks, in relation to the absolute size of the pot that he like couldn't or shouldn't. So I should be betting all streets. I should at worst be overbetting the turn, and then when the most obvious straight gets there, even though like you think it's not super likely that he has 9-10, like I shouldn't be blasting off here, and then I should definitely be folding to the raise.
Yeah. So we both. So yeah. So I said overbet and fold to a raise, which was probably the right move, and you knew it, but you basically just made the wrong decision because you were a little tilted.
I was super tilt. I think I was just getting outdrawn on by I don't know everything and not playing well, and especially pissing this hand that I had a good hand.
Yeah.
I terribly underplayed.
And let's also remember, you overbet and he min raised an overbet. I mean, that's just the nuts.
No, 100%.
Yeah. That's a fucking tough hand, man.
Never call that. And I don't know why I did. I was just like tilt button clicking.
Was this a session where you were multi-tabling, or how many tables?
Probably 2. I don't know.
Okay. All right, that was a fun one, though.
Yeah.
Well, at least you acknowledged you made the mistake. You were on tilt, and you just got to get better.
I think like the bigger lesson is like don't slow play your sets. Like maybe top set you could sort of slow play, but you have to keep in mind that it's a really strong hand, but it's very they are very vulnerable to being outdrawn, especially as the board gets more flush heavy and straight draw heavy. And even if they don't have even if they're not drawing to a straight or a flush, when the completing card comes in, you're not going to get any more value, which is another reason why like you have to be overbetting the turn, because there's a very good chance that if Queen of Hearts comes out on the turn, he's not calling any big bet. Like he's afraid that I have the flushes. It's more in my range, or maybe he has King 6 or some junky King X hand. When the scare card comes out, he's not gonna call off any decent sized bet. So you have to go for value when you can get it, which in this case would have been the turn.
Yeah. Also, it's just another out of position nightmare because, because people. It's just a classic. He raised, so you're checking to him, so he just checks back to realize his equity, and once he checks back, he doesn't have to reopen the betting. Even if you overbet, he could just call and then just stack you on the river. It's just classic position. All right, so looking back, you could have 3-bet pre-flop. If you 3-bet pre-flop, and then even if you want to make a small out of position continuation bet, he has to fold. Even if you didn't have a set.
I honestly rarely do it, like very rarely. But in a heads-up pot, like there's not necessarily a reason that you shouldn't, unless like you're really worried that he's overfolding. And look, like they might be overfolding, but still, you have a strong but vulnerable hand, and the pot is tiny.
Mm-hmm.
So like he either has something in his continuing range that can call your bet, or he doesn't. So yeah, I would bet it out of position if I had it again.
Yeah.
It looks strong, but like whatever. Like he could put me on some cards drawing to a flush. He could put me on a weaker king. He could put me on ace X. That's just trying to bluff and take it down.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Fahrenheit 200 just said, "What stakes does this guy play?"
10.
Yeah, I told him.
And 20 on clubs, I guess.
Well, you know what, man? I mean, I don't really give a rat's ass about stakes. To me, stakes means nothing because it's all about strategy. I love playing 10NL because, I'm just trying to figure out the perfect strategy and play all my hands optimally. And I like 10NL because I think 10NL is actually harder than some of the stakes.
That's the thing that I was gonna say. Like,
Yeah.
10 limit is freaking hard. Like
It's not easy.
Good players the good players at 10 limit are pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not really optimal because of like break and how much you can make. Like I really just do it to learn for fun and for fun.
Yeah.
But it's not optimal.
And furthermore, one of the advantages I have playing 10 is I can separate myself from the money and just think of it as chips. What's that?
Doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, but everyone has that advantage because they're all just thinking of it as chips because the stakes are low enough. So it actually makes it harder. And any one of these players, even like the bad players at 10NL, could go to the casino, play 1-2 or 2-5 probably, and just destroy everyone.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say it's nothing like playing at the casino, right? Like you're buying it for at least 500. Like
Yeah.
it's like 50
The-
of these hands.
Yeah, I know.
Could be one of those hands.
Yeah.
So,
The casino's a joke. But
in terms of skill,
yeah.
yeah, no, this game is the 10 limit game on global is reasonably hard.
Yeah, it is.
So
You wanna? Oh, you got one more hand?
I do have one more. It's not as interesting.
Yeah, that one was very, very frustrating hand. But this is just so fun to try to. So
All right, I'm in the big blind. Right. Yep. No. Why not?
it looks like you're not on the button. It looks like somebody posted. I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, me either.
I think you're on the button.
Yeah. I'm on the button.
Do you know who this player is? Who raised?
I do. Well, actually, let me see the rest of the pre-flop action because I'm trying to remember
Yeah.
who I ended up heads up with. 'Cause I can't remember if it was the big blind or the initial raiser. I think it was the big blind. Oh no, it was the initial raiser. All right, this is like a very I want to say fishy player. Like they're more or less gonna play their hand heads up. Like maybe they have some river bluffs, but like I don't know. I would never necessarily put him on. I think it was Jin, like GNNNN.
Jin?
Do you know that? Yeah.
Oh, that guy's a maniac.
Yeah. So
He's very spewy.
I think I found that out as we go through this hand, as you'll see. But I for some reason had him like yellow and passive tag for some reason. Because I don't know, I've seen him do some like really stupid things. I'm like, this is really like my yellow tag is like very broad. Like it could be because you're bad. It could be because you play fishy. It could be because you live tall. Like it's almost too broad.
Yeah.
But I think what I thought of the player was wrong, and what you said is actually more right. But so I three bet it in position. He calls. All right, and he checks. And what do? You have a no prepare.
Yeah. This is
You have a heart. There's 2 hearts on the board.
all right. So this is player dependent against him, but I'll try to just be more broad with like against everyone. All right, on a 2-10-5. All right, so if he opened, it was a little bit short-handed when he originally opened.
It was.
Okay, so because of that, I'm going to give him less pocket pairs automatically. So this is kind of tough because on one hand you have an overpair, but at the same time, it's hard to find a sizing because
Yeah, his calling range is like not great for this board.
maybe you block Jack 10, but you don't block Queen 10, King 10, and Ace 10, and you also could be up against hands like Ace 4 of Hearts.
Yeah.
So I think against a bad player, I might go overbet and then just snap off against a jam. And I think
Oh, really? You're trying to get stacks in.
against a bad player who's going to stack off with a 10 or a flush draw,
Yeah.
I think against a good player, you could go, if you want to go the not overbet, not pot size route, against a good player, you can actually bet 3/4 pot. No, I'm sorry, not 3/4 pot, quarter pot, and try to gauge his reaction, or a half pot with the intention.
Yeah, that's what I would usually do. Like,
But you could also check here.
at your range.
You could check here in pot control too, because
No, I mean, I think I played it like he was a good player. I think I'd go for a range bet. Let's see what I do. Do I put in 68 cents?
yeah, something like that ain't bad. Yeah,
Yes, I do. Okay.
when he snaps,
Calls.
all right,
Snaps.
all right. I don't think he's raise calling 10-9. I think you can literally just jam here.
What's his calling range if I jam?
Ace 3 of hearts, a 10, Queen 10, King 10, Ace 3 of hearts, Ace 4 of hearts, Ace 9 of hearts, Ace 8 of hearts.
So
The problem is jamming is a bit greedy. Because
no, I actually don't hate your idea because at the worst, it gets him to hold out the hand that's gonna that could outdraw me.
that's why I want to go a little bit bigger on the flop so that this jam is a little bit better on the turn.
Yeah. And what do I do?
If you go pot and then he jams a river on a heart or an ace,
I feel like I overbet. Oh, I check it back. I don't remember why.
that's
Why did I
weird.
check this back?
You check that back because
I think I in the moment I might have been worried that he actually called me with a better open. Like maybe I was.
yeah, that's the thing about what's his face, Jin. I've seen him long con over pairs.
So I think that might have been part of why I did this. Like I feel like I had in his profile like limps good hands or like
Yeah.
flats good hands or something like that.
I call those long conners.
If that's I forgot. You put a mouse for them, don't you?
A lot of mouse generally long con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what we were talking about at the very beginning about people trying to be sneaky, and like I just don't pay off people trying to be sneaky. Like I'm gonna pop control. Like if you actually have a hand that's beating you right now. So I think that was my thought.
Yeah.
Looking back at it now, I'm like, why wouldn't I just overbet?
You know why? Because this is a tough hand because Jack's you're in that quandary that you run into with medium strength hands where your hand needs protection,
Yeah.
but it also needs protection, but it also only gets called. Big bets only get called when you're beat.
By better hands. So I think that was probably my thought. I'm like, okay, I haven't really improved.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm already behind if he called my free bet.
Yep.
He didn't raise, but also he wouldn't raise if he had aces, kings, or queens, anyways.
Yep.
So that doesn't necessarily uncap his range. So I'm like, let me just check this back. Like I have a marginal hand, where like, do I really want to be playing for stacks against this guy who very well could be like slow playing a set or an open pair that's better than mine. So I think that was my thought in the moment. So I just checked back the turn for I guess pop control.
All right.
Now what do you do?
Here's the problem. All right. So you're in position, right? The problem is if he jams now, I don't think he's jamming those over pairs, but if he did have something like Ace 3 of hearts, he might just jam because he might try to make it look weak and try to get paid by a hand like what you have. He could also have ace four of hearts and be turning it into a bluff, and you're beating that hand, but now you have to fold. I don't think he's value betting tens. Pocket nines actually makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, very well could be. And I think that might have been part of why I checked back the turn. I'm like, there's a decent chance he called me with some slightly worse overpair. Like I usually say, when people call three bets, like, I'm putting him on similar type of
Yeah.
Broadway type hands, and a lot of times like middling pocket pairs between like 6 and 10, and sometimes including 10.
And another problem with the jacks is now if his value range includes slow played queens and kings, you're not beating those. So it'd be better to take this line with aces or kings. And also, I like almost checking on the flop because there's a lot of cards in the turn you're going to check. So if I know I'm going to check the turn, I almost want to just check the flop in the first place. So at least if I do lose, it's losing less. But yeah, this is by no means an easy hand.
Okay, so now
What does he do?
we're at the river, I think.
Is he going to bet six?
I think he checks.
Oh, he check against check? Ooh, okay. Against check. All right, mousy players tend to even check nutted hands on the river. They don't know enough to like lead because they're gonna face checkbacks.
Yeah.
So he might still be checking a hand like ace three or or slow played queens. So what can you get value from? So I think you have to bet somewhere between.
Some under pair that thinks I have ace king.
Yeah.
Especially after I bet the flop and then check back the turn.
Uh,
Was my thought. Like there is actually a pretty wide value region, like eights and below, not not a five, not a four, but those types of pocket pairs. As we talked about, like anything that connects with the board, like ace four.
Yeah. The problem is I don't want to bet too small. I think yeah.
10x.
If you bet small though, if you bet small, and he jams, you're gonna get too confused. It's like, is he jamming because I bet small and I induced, and he actually does? He actually is turning like ace queen of hearts into a bluff now, or like ace four of hearts into a bluff. But so I would want to bet a little bit more than half pot so that I know he can't bluff jam, and I think he still might call 3/4 pot.
That's way better. Yeah, that's, I think, really good thought process. Mine was way worse. My thought is, I have a middling hand. If he did slow play aces, kings, or a set, he's going to be raising any bet that I put out there. If he has some like marginal hand that connects with the board that I beat, I could probably get value using a block sizing. And if he raises my block size, my block huge, he almost certainly has a nutted hand that he just slow played. Because that is what a fishy player would do. And if they have a marginal hand with showdown value, they kind of have to call the block because they think I'm just trying to buy it with ace king.
Uh-huh.
And to have a nutted hand, they have to raise. So I think I actually go for the block. What do I put in $1.50? What do I do? Yeah. So I put out a block.
I think if he has slow played big pair, he just calls. I don't think he raises slow played big pairs.
You don't think he would raise aces, kings, queens here?
I don't know, unless he's like a crazy, like a loose kind of crazy player, but who's also not that smart. Unless he
Yeah.
pinpoints your hand to like exactly what you have, and he's like making a great value raise. I don't
What is
think.
he worried about? I mean, if you have aces, kings, queens, what are you worried about? Like that I have a better overpair?
Sets of tens, maybe. Oh yeah, that's true.
That I check back, or that I bet tiny on the flop, check back the turn with, and now I'm block sizing for.
Yeah, I don't think you should be that worried if you have slow played overpair, unless it's like queens.
If you're villain here, like, and you actually have a monster, like what are aces, kings, queens,
Yeah.
set, and you see this sizing.
Yeah, I could see raising.
So what do you think he does?
I think he's gonna jam because I know this guy.
You do know this guy. Oh wait, he just calls. Wait, is this the right hand?
Oh, he just called. Great bet. Yeah, he had what the fuck does he have? He might have ace 4.
I'm wondering.
Oh, you thought he was gonna jam?
I thought this was the hand where he does jam. Maybe this is the hand where I do actually play the block correctly.
That was
Or like,
that was great.
Yeah. This is one where I was not even expecting. I think I have a similar type of hand where he does end up jamming, but in this one, didn't end the way I actually thought it was gonna go. Because I think I played a similar hand with jacks, but yeah, I actually, in hindsight, I don't hate with how this went down. I don't hate it because he kind of has to call like that sizing against if he connects with the board. And I think I was like, okay, if he has like 10x, ace 4, ace 5, thinking I have ace king and just trying to find a pot, he kind of has to call this bet.
Yeah, so I wonder what how this would have went if you overbet flop.
He probably, like, knowing that he just called the block, he probably doesn't have a strong enough continuing range to call an overbet on the flop.
Hmm.
Let me see. This might be. This is the actual one. But we do have the ability to prove it.
Yeah, that was a good hand.
Oh yeah. That is. I think I do have it. Give me 1 sec. I think I have the actual one against the player who I actually thought it was.
Oh, okay, so that wasn't
That wasn't the one that I actually thought I was showing you.
okay, okay.
But so that one actually not terribly played. I don't hate it.
No.
I kind of got as much value. I got a good amount of value from like otherwise like kind of marginal hand.
All right, so
So this one, it is now the actual players. It's Jin or whatever.
so
In the big blind, which is why I thought it was the big blind earlier.
so Jin would never, yeah, Jin would not have $50 ever. So you don't know who that is on the left?
I don't remember.
All right, so it's good to save your hand history with the player name from now on, yeah.
How?
So just, you know, just
Oh, you just jot it down and remember. Yeah.
no, you just when you go to your book, your star over there, when you save the hand, just name it the player's name.
Oh yeah. That's a better idea.
Yeah, just go in your dealer chat and just copy and paste the hand, the pot size, and the player's name, and just save it
Yeah.
on your bookmark. And then you'll be able to study how players play.
Yeah. No, I do think the small blind ends up being out of the way. Anyways, so I opened to my normal size, ace 10 suited, pretty good hand. And this last one will do.
All right, yeah. So you made it 30, and they both called.
Yeah, they both called, which is pretty annoying. I think I wasn't expecting the small blind to come along. And you should never call out of the small blind because you're out of position. And you're going to allow the big blind to come in. So going back to the points we made earlier about 3-betting, you're playing a smaller pot and you have less share of it and you're out of position. So don't do this.
Yeah,
So,
that might actually be me because I do that sometimes.
calling out the small blind.
Yeah, sometimes I call it a small blind if I know a fishier player is gonna be forced to call it as a
That's
big blind.
different. Yeah, that's different though. That like, I do that too if I want. Like sometimes I want the big blind to come because I'm like he's gonna overvalue his top pair, and if I hit a set, like I'm probably gonna stack him. Like that's a little bit different. But I'm saying just like from a, I guess from a theory perspective, it's like not a good idea to call.
Yeah.
For the reasons we mentioned, you're out of position. You're playing a smaller pot. You have less share because there's more people in there. The big blind can come around and now definitely has the pot odds to shouldn't, but sometimes you know that the big blind is just calling any two cards, and you just want to play as many pots with them, even if you're out of position. Like that's fine. It's like
Yeah.
a different reason.
All right. Anyway, so on this flop, I don't want to touch this flop with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, this is a disaster. Nine deuce six, two diamonds. I have hearts. Checks. Checks around to me, and of course I check it back.
Yeah. So now your hand is so face up if you bet that ace.
Yeah. Do I care though?
No. Still got to bet.
Yeah. Yeah. So checks around again. I think I have ace 10. I'm not. And Jin leads. I'm like, okay. I mean, I was gonna bet that sizing anyways. What would you do?
All right. So my thought process immediately is the hands that I'm finding that have him beat now, because all right. So you have ace 9 beat, but ace 9 is 2-pair now. Okay, he's also gonna slow play ace king and ace queen. I mean, he's gonna just call with ace jack and ace queen, and probably even ace king because he's that type.
Yeah, I didn't know. I think I did think of that in the moment where he would be the type to potentially slow play like this premium and just flat it out of the big blind. And so I'm a little cautious that he's now leading this. But what can you do?
You can fold here, I think, because ace 8 is the only value hand you beat, and is he really just gonna start betting that unless he's completely oblivious? Because your hand looks like a big ace that checked back. So it's like, if he's so oblivious to what you have and is just playing his cards and not playing the player, I don't know. That's player dependent whether or not he's doing that. I think.
I think in the moment I'm like, is he just overvaluing a weaker ace like this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like putting me on some other like suited or unsuited Broadway, like king queen type of hand, and he's like, all right, I hit an ace, that I bet.
Yeah, but he should know that if you have a hand like king queen or king jack, that hand's drawing dead when you hit the ace.
Yeah.
So your hand becomes like a bluff catcher. So why you would lead on that ace? It's one of those things like he's so inexperienced and he's just not as savvy as other players that it's just too confusing. And I think I don't blame you for just calling that and reevaluating the river. But this is what kind of hand where you're like, if I know I'm folding on the river, why even call the turn?
Yeah, I mean, I'm confused. I'm like, is he betting a weaker ace, and that's gonna slow down as soon as I call this, or putting me on some unsuited Broadways that are gonna have to fold to this. But then if I call, that means I actually do have a strong, or a decent ace X type of hand. So I think nothing to do but to call. And if it would have checked around to me, I would have bet the size anyways.
Yeah.
Not feeling great.
No, this is not good.
So I think small blind gets out of the way.
He could also have like 9-6 suited.
Yeah.
Oh, an ace?
So now the ace of diamonds comes out. We improve the trips. The flush does get there. Am I that worried about the flush? Not really. Like, why is he like? I guess there's more. Like theoretically, there's like more in his range, especially that I'm unblocking it with two hearts. But let's see what he does. Pretty sure he checks it. After betting the turn. He's thinking. Uses some extra time.
What
I'm a
the?
little nervous.
Yeah.
Thinking. And he checks.
All right.
What do you do?
Okay. So now my thought process is he checks. Is he so smart that he knows trip aces hit me, and he also knows that I'm the type of player that doesn't like to check back, and that I am going to bet so I could value raise my flush, I could value raise deuces full, nines full, sixes full, ace 9. Is he that smart that he checks that because he knows I'll bet and he knows I'm not a check backer and he wants to check raise me, which is what I would do if I was him with those nutted hands, even flushes?
And
he's not that smart. So since he's not,
Oh, you don't think so?
no, if it's the right player, if you have the right player,
I guess like
I don't know who the player is.
yeah, it's Jin.
It's Jin. Jin's not that smart. So
Okay.
I think against him, I overbet $3 here and fold if he jams.
Got it. And I feel like I pretty much never check back river, so I feel like players would be inclined to do that to me. Like, hey, I'm just gonna check it. Like, if he has a decent hand, he's for sure gonna bet it, because I for sure would bet it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a check backer. Like, it's just when villains telling you they have a cap range, like you must try to go for more value or try to get them to fold, right? Like sometimes I have complete air, and I'm pretty sure if I check back, I'm gonna lose the hand, but they check back river.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have to bluff, and when I have value, I'm like, I have to go for value.
Yeah.
So what do you bet here?
$3.
Do I go for a block sizing or 75% sizing? I think I don't remember going for the overbet.
Because you could have, because ace 5 now is like gonna have to call.
Oh, I put on a block size.
What the?
I don't know why the hell I did this. I think I'm
Yeah.
And I think in the moment I'm like, him thinking for a while freaked me out, and I'm like, if he has a good hand, he's gonna raise it huge. If he has some other showdown value type hand, like I don't know, that's not a set. He kind of has to call to this size, right? Like if he somehow is showing up with like tens, eights, sevens, jacks, even, like you can't really. I mean, you definitely can't fold to this size, and I feel like there's some chance I have the best hand, but I also I'm a little bit worried that he led the turn and then thought for a while on the river. So I'm like, do I not like? I feel like I'm beat. I feel like he's gonna tell me if he actually has a monster. So why am I gonna bet huge here?
Yeah, I don't think my $3 makes a lot of sense now that thinking about it longer. But
Cause I'm just thinking like I'm actually probably beat here. I'm thinking like I'm almost certainly like do not have the best hand. So if he actually has a monster, I feel like he's gonna tell me. And if he has some like marginal showdown lead value type of hand, he's gonna call. And whatever, maybe I win. So instead of like in the moment I'm like I should just check this back, but I told you at the beginning when someone checks river to me,
yeah.
especially after leading a previous street, I have to bet. Like, I would say 90% of the time it will get you more value than just checking it back. But this is a scenario where, he let turn, thought for a while on the river, like you just check it back. And I think like that's a habit. Like when I first started, I would be inclined to check back often, just realize my equity, and I just made it a point to force myself like you must bet on the river when you are checked to, especially when villain has tried to show strength on previous turns, but is now capitulating in a sense.
Yeah, if he has actually 6s and 9s, which is possible, this is the perfect bet. It's even 69 cents, which is funny.
I think maybe I did it for fun, but I was just like I need a block sizing.
I'm really interested to see what he has here. So what did he do? Did he do anything?
So against the block,
Oh, he jams?
thinking really hard. Is he gonna fold? No.
What the
He's gonna overbet. 5x my bet, overbet the pot. What do you do?
All right, so I don't think he'd be clever enough to raise a... Well, no. Is he actually smart enough to have a flush here and check to you? I think that might be the case, because why would he just bet the ace like that? I think No, it makes sense. Say he did have a flush draw, and he didn't make his flush yet on the turn. The reason why he would bet the ace, even though he should be checking the ace to you.
Yeah, even though I could have the ace.
Yeah, the only reason why he made a weird bet like that is possibly because he thought, all right, if he has a pocket pair, maybe he'll fold thinking I have an ace and I could win with my flush draw. So from that perspective, it makes more sense that he would have a flush. And with your range as capped as it looked, he could actually find the check raise even though he's not that good. And the only part of his value range is ace 8 and ace 7 and ace 5. And I think he's smart enough to not value raise that. Ace 9 actually has you beat, flushes have you beat. And based on how capped your range looked, like I said, he could be having a flush and finding the check raise. So for all those reasons, I fold.
And I
Fold, right? Yeah,
fold.
good fold.
Yeah.
If that's a bluff with 7-8 or something,
That was my thought. I'm like, yeah, that's a bluff, like incredible. But like, this just makes no sense to me.
yep.
And I'm losing to most value here actually.
And he's not 3-betting ace king or ace queen out of the blinds ever.
Yeah, that was another reason I think I was like he would be the type to just flat ace king, ace queen out of the blind. So it's like it's potentially possible that he actually has a stronger ace. It's potentially possible that he actually turned the flush. It's possible that he just slow played his 9, instead of 9s, deuces, or 6s.
Yep.
And I honestly don't hate. I guess I don't hate the way I played that.
No.
Maybe I could have. If that was a bluff, like he doesn't bluff if I just put out a 3/4 pot size bet, but then I also lose way more. If he does actually have a monster.
Yeah, and my decision to bet bigger on the river is probably stupid now that we're breaking it down like this.
Right. I'm glad we were rooted together.
Shit, yeah, this is fun.